And they know Progressive will protect their RV at a fair price with discounts. Now here comes the best part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Hi, Rhett Rasmussen of BestHotGrill.com. Step up your grilling game with our Solaire portable infrared grill. Our compact everywhere is a favorite of RVers and trailer pullers. Solaire infrared provides the quick sear for bar marks and texture needed to properly finish sous vide. Use a portable alongside your larger conventional grill to create an instant sear zone and more juicy and flavorful food. Learn more at BestHotGrill.com. Affordable, powerful, portable infrared grills at
I talked to Louis Gale the other day. Connecticut. Loving life, he says.
I'm Bill Robbins. There was a tense atmosphere at a meeting of the Cal City Commission as advocates voiced opposition to the operation of a new ICE detention facility. The meeting included a vote on a business license for the Core Civic Immigration Detention Center, and that came after a news conference.
This is the new one, the one I broke the day that I got it.
Boris Huerta said that alligator Alcatraz was closed in Florida because of community and environmental groups opposing it.
Literally broke it the day that I got it.
Experiences with immigration
I was holding it like this and it fell.
Operating without due process. Over 1,200 people were arrested for DUI over the Labor Day weekend, which coincidentally was CHP's holiday enforcement period from August 29th through September 1st. During the enforcement period compared to last year, fatal crashes dropped by 49% from 39 to 20. Total fatalities went down by 50% from 43 to 21. In addition to 1,214 DUI arrests, officers issued 19,798 speeding tickets. 24 people were arrested by the Kern County Sheriff's Office on Friday. Deputies also removed 5,000 pounds of debris during a loitering bust. Deputies were active in areas where residents and business owners had been complaining: North Chester Avenue, Airport Drive, Merle Haggard Drive, Brundage Lane, and Kern Canyon Road. 4 of the 24 were arrested on felony charges. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is up from $1.1 billion to $1.3 billion. That's billion with a B dollars, making it the largest Powerball drawing for this year and the 5th largest in lottery history. No one won the big prize, but 14 players won at least $1 million by matching all 5 of the numbers. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180.
What time do we have to buy these tickets?
What do you think? This is the army? We're shooting a mile away? You got to get a post like this. You blow that
How long do we have to buy these tickets?
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180.
How long do we have to buy the tickets tonight? 7:30?
You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Powerball.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hi, everybody. And a very pleasant good afternoon to you, wherever you may be, however you may be listening, or however you may be viewing, for those subscribing on YouTube. This is the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, where we stream live at KERNradio.com and broadcast the entire show live on YouTube. I think we're up to close to 350 subscribers and averaging about 200 viewers a day. We thank you. Tell friends. We want to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We got a busy Wednesday show. Huh? What?
I'm sorry, I was going to let you know you have until 8 o'clock to buy
8 o'clock.
7:59. But yeah.
Powerball we're discussing. $1.3 billion. You take home a cool $650 million. And we didn't even talk about what our first purchase would be. We brought up the topic, but we never concluded. A couple of folks in the chat room, and I guess a couple of people texting submitted their first buys, but we didn't get to ours. In the meantime, like I said, we got a busy show. Howard Marcus at 4 o'clock. We'll get into the Power Show by Xi, Putin, and Kim Jong-un, among others. The question of the day is, how did we lose India? The Prime Minister Modi of India was seen at this meeting holding hands with these three evil men as well. How the hell did we lose any? I'll bring that up with Howard Marcus. We'll talk about a massive swing in party affiliation that I bet most of you aren't even aware of. The Democrats have lost more than 2 million registered voters. Simultaneously, the Republican Party has picked up almost 2.5 million. And that's why I keep telling you, despite history being against the political prophet, where's my
Behind you.
it's back down there. I normally use my bullhorn when I go to the political prophet. The political prophet believes that we're still going to win, despite history fighting against me, because a first-term president, and again, he's a second-term president, but technically a first-term president because he's doing it again. They always lose the midterms. Again, as I've told you for days and days and days, you got to go all the way back to George Bush, 2002, the last time a first-term president has won the midterms. And the only reason George Bush won the midterms, because his approval rating at the time was 201%, because it was right after 9/11. September, November, and his approval rating was, it's one of the few times we were all together. That's one of the things we're going to talk about today. Maybe this acts of evil, what am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? This axis of mayhem and upheaval that they showed off yesterday will force Western civilization to wake up. And I think one of the things that we'll talk about is the fact that Donald Trump has promised to keep troops in Poland. And in fact, even perhaps he met with the Polish president today, perhaps even offer more troops in Poland. Because if what I believe is true, that Vladimir Putin is not interested in peace in Ukraine, and if in fact he wins this war, he's not done. And I think the first target would be Poland. I really believe that. And that's why I keep saying this is starting to mirror World War II. Because Neville Chamberlain and the folks in England, it's why John Kennedy wrote the book, Why England Slept, when they absolutely took Hitler's word that he wasn't going to go into Poland, absolutely took Hitler's word that he wasn't going into Czechoslovakia, and the next thing you know, they're eating croissants in Paris. Just saying. And I was really happy to see that Donald Trump, he really has done a massive transformation. You got to give him some credit, even if you're a Democrat, and I know that that's an impossibility for you. In fact, I've got some audio that I didn't send you. I'll play it from my phone, where Trump, I don't even know how old it is. I just saw it and thought it was cute, where he's describing what TSD is. Trump, or maybe it's TDS, Trump Disorder Syndrome.
Derangement syndrome?
Derangement, thank you, derangement syndrome. And he explained, or did I send it to you?
No, but I know what you're referring to.
And he explains what that is, and it's hilarious. I'll play that a little bit later. We'll talk about Trump meeting with the Polish president, as I mentioned, and the Democratic drop. And Roger Goodell, as we get ready for football tomorrow, was on the Today Show and hinted, well, he actually tried to somewhat deny the fact that they're going to go to an 18-game season. Let me tell you something. They're going to an 18-game season. And why are they going to an 18-game season? What did my father say? 8 out of 10 questions can be answered with
money.
It's all it's about.
Dinero.
And wait till you hear this bite where it's all about the fans. What the fans want. It's about the fans. I'm a fan guy. It's really all about the fans. It's, you know what it is? You know what it is, Savannah, Craig? It's about the fans.
He tried to peddle down a McAfee show months ago, too.
How much do you think Roger Goodell makes? You won't be within $15-20 million.
Oh, 15 to 20? Oh, that makes me feel like it's going to be a high number. 50 mil.
$63.9 million.
That's a ridiculous number.
$63.9 million.
A year or the whole contract?
A year. Per annum.
He's no wonder he doesn't care about being hated.
And he's not even an attorney. I assumed he had to be an attorney. And he has moved the football for the NFL. I'll give him that. he has, I think even more than Paul Tagliabue, embraced the idea that this is a television show. And the more games we can get on, the more money we can make. And I think he's part of why I'm going to be watching the NFL Network all season long, because YouTube's the games, the NFL ticket, which I used to be able to get on DirecTV for about $200, is now on YouTube. And not only do you have to subscribe to YouTube, which I don't know how much that is, but I'm guessing $40-50 a month. Higher than that.
Oh, it's pretty expensive.
You see what I'm saying? And then to get once you sign up with YouTube to get the ticket, and for those that don't really follow football or don't follow it that closely, the ticket is all 8 games at one time. The 10 o'clock games and then the 1 o'clock games. You see everything. And when I had it on DirecTV and I was gambling at the time, it was the only way to watch, particularly if you're gambling. You got 3 different games on that you're gambling on, and you can't get that on regular TV, and you can sit and watch your money all day long. Well, now it's like close to 500 bones, along with signing up for YouTube. So I'm just going to watch. Randy and I were just talking about this. I'm just going to be an NFL Network guy. Just watch the Red Zone all season long.
Looking this up real quick, just because I was curious. YouTube TV's base plan, from what this is telling me, is $82.99 a month, and that's not even including the sports channels. The sports is an extra $11 a month on top of that.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
And if you want the entertainment bundle, which you would want because that's probably HBO and all these movies and stuff, that's $30 on top of it.
Yeah, I already got HBO. That's all I need. That's all I need. By the way, I haven't told my great story.
Which is?
And I'm giving my fellow DirecTV subscribers some great advice. Simply threaten to leave. I was paying $259 a month, and it was killing me. And so I finally called, and I didn't even call because I got my thing lowered. But remember, I said I didn't have MeTV, right, which is ridiculous that I threw in MeTV as a request.
How often do you watch MeTV?
That's what makes it ridiculous. Only on Sundays.
Really?
Because they run, that's how weird I am. They run MASH, All in the Family, and Dick Van Dyke.
On Sundays.
And that's the only time I watch it. Sometimes if I'm just sitting around the house, I'm not playing golf on a Saturday, I'll watch The Rifleman, which is one of my favorite shows when I was a child. I used to call myself Luke McCain, according to my uncles. And one of the best Christmas gifts I ever got is my uncle got me a play rifle that looked like the Chuck Connors. Oh, it was a great Christmas gift. Anyway, that's all I was trying to do was add Turner Classic Movies and MeTV. And the woman said, well, I'm sorry, based on the package that we have, we cannot add that. We lowered your price, but we can't add that. If we were to add that, you'd be in a different bracket, a different package, and it'd have to be more expensive. I said, well, you know what? That's fine. I'm going to hang on for about a week, and then I'm going to cancel. I'm going to go over to Spectrum. I'm just going to wait. I've got to, wait for my next check, which was a lie. I had the money in my check account. And I said, I'm going to wait for my next check. And when I get paid, I'm going to go ahead and switch. And she said, did you say you're going to go ahead and switch? Yes, I'm going to cancel in about a week. Hold on, sir. Let me let you talk to my supervisor. Click. Dun, 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 dun. I love a parade. Hello, this is Cindy in management. May I know who's talking? This is Ralph Bailey, and I'm going to go ahead and cancel my subscription. Well, hang on, Mr. Bailey. I understand that you want to add MeTV and Turner Classic Movies. Let me take a look. All right, Mr. Bailey, before we go ahead and added that to your package. And in fact, I've been able to drop your package another $30. And let me see, how long have you been with us? Oh, you've been with us for about 12 years. I can give you some kind of, and I forget the phrase she used, customer, luxury customer, deluxe customer, whatever. I'm a special customer. And most of y'all have been with the same company for the long years as well. So she said, I can even drop it even lower. So not only did I get the 2 channels that I wanted, but I got it dropped another $35. All you got to do is threaten to leave, and they panic. And
35 I think total, or are we talking 65 altogether? Right?
65 altogether.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm down. I'm under $200 a month. Thank you, Jesus.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty damn good. And I got Turner Classic Movies, and I can watch Archie Bunker on Sunday nights.
At this point, though, cable companies got to be desperate to keep everybody.
They are, because of all the different choices, and that now the NFL is going outside television. They're going to Hulu. They're going to Amazon this season. It is just a nightmare. That's why I'm going to be stuck on the NFL channel. And Amanda Anisimova, thank you, beat Iga, and it's pronounced Swiatek.
Swiatek.
The W is silent. The Polish girl who just won Wimbledon, and our American Amanda she won the second set. She beat her. She beat her 6-4, 6-3. That's outstanding. Amanda Anisimova, who is an interesting young girl. It's a celebration. She got payback. She got her butt whipped. She had more winners in the first set than she had in the whole match at Wimbledon. And she's lost a little weight because she was a little chunky at Wimbledon. She's one of the few, and I'm not trying to be creepy because I think it comes naturally. I'm not trying to be creepy, but she's one of the few large-breasted women in the history of tennis. The only one that I could ever come up with, and you can test your brain, Mr. Sports Guy, you host a sports show in the mornings on 12:30 ESPN. The only one I could think of is Serena. And that was later in her career.
Right.
You know, when she was a teenager, Serena looked like a boy with the little short things and no body, and she had a little booty on her, but she looked like a black boy.
The braids.
And then she got heavier and she started to get breasts. And the only reason I mentioned that, because I dated a girl for about 3 weeks. I'm getting off the road, so remember we're at Wimbledon.
Anisimova,
Yeah, remember that, because I'm getting off the road here, because this is a great story. I dated this girl for 3 weeks. You'll appreciate it because it's a sports-related story. And she broke up with me on the afternoon of the Tuck game. Remember the Tuck game? Are you guys old enough to remember the Tuck game? Which started the whole Patriot dynasty. And I have always argued if they had made the right call when Charles Woodson knocked the crap out of Brady and he fumbled the football and we got it on the 50, and they said, no, it was the Tuck rule. If they had gotten that right and it was a fumble and we win the ball game, the Belichick dynasty does not begin and may not have ever gotten off its feet. Because you got to remember, Belichick was a failed head coach before he got to New England. He was horrible in Cleveland. And was he a head coach of the Jets for a minute, or was he just defensive coordinator?
No, DC.
Yeah. All right. So it's the Tuck rule game, and we lose. I'm down at 17th Street Cigar Company with Larry Fields, former husband of Lois Henry, and the Leary boys. And, of course, Joe and Anthony. And our heads explode when we lose the game. Now, remember, I've dated this girl for 3 weeks. We have not even consummated the relationship yet. We've just been going to dinner, a lot of dating, her house, boop, 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 boop. I'm thinking we're definitely headed down the girlfriend-boyfriend route. And she calls me, hey, what are you doing? I'm a little down. And she goes, what's the matter? What happened? Is it a family thing? I said, the Raiders got robbed and we're out of the playoffs. And she started hysterically laughing. And I said, Chris, this isn't funny. You don't understand what my situation is with and this is Rich Gannon.
Right.
This is right when we were starting to get good. And I'm like a freaky Raider fan. And I'm like, don't. And she's like, are you serious? You're all depressed about a football game? So, and I hung up on her. I was walking home, and about 15 yards later, I was like, uh-oh.
You in trouble.
I'm in deep trouble. I call her back. This is 842-5376. I'm unavailable. Didn't talk to me for 4 days. When she finally answered the phone on the fourth day, she said, I'm sorry, I cannot date a man who's so immature that a football game could ruin his day. And I just said, you're right. This would never work because you don't understand my Raider affiliation. And that was it. And now we're very good friends. Now back to Wimbledon and the fact that US Open and the fact that Amanda Anisimova has large breasts. The only reason I mention that is because this girl is an avid golfer. In fact, I just recently saw her, not recent, a couple of months ago at BCC. She married well, another woman I saved from poverty, and is a member of BCC. And she's a hell of an athlete. And she's about 5'9", 5'10", the Bailey prototype. And she just says swinging a golf club with D's is really difficult. And I can't even imagine trying to swing a tennis racket with those big O's. But she looks thinner. You could tell. I was able to watch the whole first set. She was much more confident, and she got the payback and beat the Polish Iga Swiatek. She advanced, and you buried the lead, my brother, when you told me Take two. You buried the lead, my brother.
Talk about Venus Williams?
When you told me that Venus Williams lost, you didn't tell me that Taylor
Fritz
Townsend, the girl who was at one point the idol of the U.S. Open, when Ostapenko told her she had no class and no education, that she was the one that beat Venus.
I honestly didn't even know that until afterwards.
So that's a loss, but a gain. A sister still vying for a championship in doubles.
I still need her sister Serena to jump in on this doubles thing. I'm telling you.
She's younger than Venus.
If she can get her just for doubles, you don't have to come back for singles, but just for doubles.
Right. I agree. I think now with 2 kids,
probably not.
It's over for Serena.
But she's on the Ozempic track.
She looks great.
She could be
as
in
an
the best
athlete.
shape of her life.
She really could be. And she still plays. I follow her on Instagram. We are extremely late. We'll come back and squeeze in whatever we can for the bottom of the hour. And Howard Marcus will join us at 4 o'clock. And I got a ton of miscellaneous news and notes we'll get to. You'll hear from Roger Goodell on the Today Show today. And in about half an hour, Naomi Osaka trying to win another U.S. Open after beating the crap out of Coco Gauff. We'll follow that for you throughout the broadcast. You're listening to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 at AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1
Casey.
KERN. Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Wednesday edition of the First Look program, we'll talk a little medicine with our friend Dr. Vip Dev. John Cox will be here from the California to administer the news quiz. That's always a good time. And we'll back all of that up with state-of-the-art news, traffic, and weather. It's all happening at 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Had a wonderful time this weekend at Robbie and April Pratt's beautiful, gorgeous, unbelievable wedding. But afterwards, I still had to drop in with my good friend Mike Arey at the KC Steakhouse. You know, they have a new happy hour that starts at 9, and Liz and Megan will hang out with you as long as people are there. It's not going to be till 2 o'clock in the morning, but and of course, Jimmy and Bobby are live with music Tuesday through Saturday. And we even jumped over to the Stockyard for a minute to say hi to Haley. She's the regular bartender next door at the Speakeasy type bar that I keep encouraging guys after dinner or maybe even before dinner. Try it out. Listen to Lottie or Vanessa, one of the two of the girls that they have live music on Thursday, Fridays, and Saturday nights, and try one of the new craft cocktails that they have. Or you can just sit in and have dinner. And don't forget about the banquet room for meetings and different events. It's just been a great game changer for Cassie Biddle. KC Steakhouse, longtime sponsors of the Ralph Bailey Show.
Grown-ups, don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the VA benefits.
If you are 50 or older, it is recommended that you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. If you're an adult, 19 to 49, with certain underlying medical conditions like asthma, diabetes, chronic heart disease, or COPD, vaccination is also recommended. Talk to your doctor about vaccination today and learn more at lung.org/protect yourself. Furnished by the American Lung Association in collaboration with Pfizer.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-274-5104 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-274-5104. That's 800-274-5104. What do you have to lose? Call 800-274-5104. Again, 800-274-5104.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1.
Room other than to tell you, as I was talking with those who subscribe on YouTube, that's what I'm telling you. If you're at home or at work and you've got a laptop in front of you, subscribe on YouTube and watch the show. It adds. Am I wrong? Those of you who subscribe and are watching right now, doesn't it add more to the show to be able to see what I'm doing and see me dancing and singing and doing the things that I do? And I leave my mic on when I go down the hall and talk to people, and I can tell you and show you what my friend and colleague gave to me to add to our knickknack collection. And this is the Clayton Kershaw ring, the World Series ring that he got at one of the games. Randy goes to a lot of games. His daughter goes, and they've got these tickets right near the dugout, and they get all the knickknacks. So I was like, Randy, you can't give this to me. He goes, dude, we have so many of these things. And the one game that I went to on my vacation, they were giving away a Shohei Ohtani one of these. My buddy said he'd be at my front door at 9:30. He's coming from Sacramento. Said he'd be at my front door at 9:30. Showed up at 10:45. We got there like the bottom of the second inning, top of the third. And for Shohei, you think you could show up in the third inning and get a ring? There'll still be some 40,000 left at 40,000 at the first 40,000. No. Quick timeout. We'll get into Donald Trump and his meeting with the Polish president when we come back.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump suggests New Orleans could be his next target for deploying the National Guard to fight crime. This follows his decision to send additional law enforcement to Chicago and Baltimore. Trump said Wednesday that Louisiana's Republican governor wanted him to send in law enforcement to help police the state's biggest city. The National Hurricane Center says Hurricane Kiko is now a Category 4 storm in the Pacific. Forecasters say Kiko's top sustained winds were clocked at 130 miles an hour on Wednesday. The hurricane is centered about 1,600 miles east of Hilo, Hawaii, and is traveling westward at 9 miles an hour. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 24 points, the NASDAQ up 218. More at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. There was a tense atmosphere at a meeting of the Cal City Commission as advocates voiced opposition to the operation of a new ICE detention facility. The meeting included a vote on a business license for the Core Civic Immigration Detention Center, and that came after a news conference when community members expressed their opinions. Dolores Huerta said that Alligator Alcatraz was closed in Florida because community and environmental groups opposed it. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is up from $1.1 billion to $1.3 billion. That's billion with a B dollars, making it the largest Powerball drawing for this year and the fifth largest in lottery history. No one won the big prize, but 14 players won at least $1 million by matching all 5 of the numbers. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Got battery issues? Choose the #1 name in power, A1 Battery. We've got you covered.
Yeah, could you?
With
So I
top
can.
quality
I
batteries
said I was
for
going to
every
rehearse it this
need.
weekend, and I
Cars,
didn't. So print it
scooters,
so I can kind of
motorhomes, garage door
read through
openers, key fobs, golf carts, home alarm systems, wheelchairs, and so much more. If it takes a battery, A1 Battery has it. With multiple locations to
so
serve
much
you.
useless
Enjoy
shit in
free
here.
diagnostics on batteries, starters,
Old mail.
alternators, and electrical systems. Plus, get free installation with any purchase. First Friday of each month is free Key Fob Battery
God, I wish
Friday.
I was
Family owned and
organized.
operated since 1960.
How much
A1
simpler
Battery
my
has
life
been
would be
providing reliable,
if I
friendly
was an
service
organized
to
human
Kern
being.
County. Need us in a pinch? We offer emergency
Hi, this
services.
is Ralph Bailey
Make
for
sure
Sangera
you're
Subaru.
never
One of the best
stranded.
things I
Tell us you
admire
heard
about
it on the
Subaru
radio
is how they
and get
give
10%
back to
off
our
your
community.
purchase. Call A1 Battery
Very
today,
true.
589-1433 for the location nearest you, or visit online at a1batterycompany.com. A1 Battery, powering your world, one battery at a time.
The JR Show.
So the city council moved forward the idea of renaming South 8th Street
Hey.
to Avenado,
Hey.
Avocado.
Put up the
de
Bailey
Cesar
thing,
Chavez. I don't
even
know.
with the bad
Whatever.
picture.
Look, it's not the name that bothers me. It could have been
I think-
Cesar
I
Chavez.
think
It could
we'll
have
see.
been
I
Martin
think that
Luther
looks
King
better.
Jr. It could have been
Let's take a
Buck
look.
Owens. It does not matter. At a time like this, when we don't have the money, how are we going to spend, from what I'm told, over $1 million
Yeah, don't you think that looks
to do
better?
a street name change? It's just
As a
not the right
backdrop?
time to do it.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96 point at AM 1180 KERN.
Ow. It's got a real circle thing going down. There's a whole lot of rhythm going down. Got a real circle thing going down. There's a whole lot of rhythm going down. Ow, we want the funk. Get about the funk. So, for those of you who do not subscribe on YouTube, what's my audio messing up? Several of the folks in the chat room say, Ralph, if you would would you still do this daily TRBS? That's not what I was looking for. And the answer to that is, hell no! No, I do it for about a week, and I become so obnoxious.
That's what I said. I was like, Mike,
Screw the bosses. I got $650 million.
that's exactly what I said. I was like, I would come to work, but my attitude here would vastly
Be horrible.
change.
You get fired. There's nothing they could tell me.
Exactly.
With $658 million in the bank, Rogers Brandon could come over here and yell at me, and I'd go, "Go,
Yabba dabba do.
and here's $10 million for your troubles."
By the way, I'm buying the radio station.
Exactly. Don't make me buy you out.
That's the thing. I turned into Bruce Wayne so quick.
I'll get my consortium, and we'll get together and just own this place.
That scene.
In fact, you know what? I'm buying the complex. This is now the Easton complex. This is now the Bailey complex. $658 million. All right, back to the show. Somebody said that where? Oh yeah, it makes the show a ton better. YouTube has been great. Love all the Dodger stuff and all the knickknacks. We just need some patty wax now. Knick-knack, patty wax. Okay, all right. That's yeah. Let me try the humor, please. Ralph, if you won, would you still? I mean, the Powerball looks better like the pick. Get on down. By the way, did you guys see my Dodger shirt that I'm wearing today? Can you see that?
You probably got to stand up a little bit for them to see the actual design.
Yeah, there it is. Love this shirt. It was given to me by a former friend for my birthday. But, you know, things happen. People run out on you when you need them. And that's not a friend, not in my opinion. When you're sitting in a restaurant with a broken jaw and the guy runs out scared to death that it might impact him somehow. And I'm like, I was just celebrating with one of my best friends. Where'd he go? And Jared's like, he ran out the front door. That's not a friend, not in my opinion. Maybe I'm a small, immature individual, but my friend, I've always said, thank God Chris Zucchini and Mike Arier weren't with me the night I got sucker punched, because it would have been
Could you imagine?
I can't. You
don't even need Zucchini.
Mike would have
be taking care of you. Mike will handle that.
Oh, it would have been a Western. It would have been an old town Western brawl, chairs everywhere. And that guy would have never gotten out of there uninjured. No way in the world. But that's a whole nother time.
Mike Arier might actually have a second career in UFC fighting after that.
Yeah. He was a brawler. Both of those guys were brawlers when they were young. When they were in there after Mike got out of football, and they were like in their late 30s. Mike, I'm telling people's business. Let's tell Trump's business instead. He met with the Polish president today, and as I mentioned at the top of the show, he's promised to keep American troops in Poland, and I'm happy for that, because I truly believe that if, and it's a big if, because now Putin is starting to waver just a little bit. He had to call on, as you remember, Kim Jong-un's people to help him. Now he's got Cuban soldiers helping him, which is a sign. If you need help just getting the 20%, how in the world are you going to get the remaining 80%? If you've got 1 million casualties, 1 million dead with 20%, what do you think the casualties are going to look like when you take over the remainder? When you try to go after Kyiv, which he's now starting to do, they're starting to bombard the capital. And in response to one of the scariest pictures I've ever seen, Xi in the middle, Putin to his right, Kim Jong-un to his left, the Prime Minister of India kind of hanging out in the background, and 27 other country leaders following this axis of evil. And I hope it has as startling picture as it was for me. I hope it's that way for Western Europe, and I hope it's that way for Donald Trump, and I think it is. He was, and only Trump could write this. Nobody, no other. Please give my warm Kim Jong-un, he said this to Xi, as you conspire against the United States of America. So he gives them the molasses, and then he gives them the sulfur right at the end. My warmest regards as you try to take me down. Bring it on, my brothers, is what he's saying. And I hope he means it. And I think that's one of the reasons that Putin is starting to waver. You know, they're talking about a Putin-Zelensky meeting. Now, of course, Putin, who does not want peace, in my opinion, set up an impossible situation. Which is what? What is an impossible situation with a Putin-Zelensky meeting, Chris?
They say we're done with this. And
no, location, Moscow. That's where he wants it. And that is never, ever going to happen. For Zelensky to go into Moscow, topping our news today, a tragic accident in our nation's capital. The president of Ukraine was hit by a bus as he was trying to get to the airport. He's dead. I mean, they'd come up with something. He choked on a steak at the dinner. Something. He'd never get out of Russia alive. Never. So we'll see if that meeting happens. But at least Trump is wary of these guys now. Because remember, when we went into this thing in January, and I didn't reluctantly vote for Trump, but I was like, because he couldn't vote for Kamala. That was the problem. Because my biggest fear with Trump is that he was going to walk away from the Ukrainians, that he was going to follow that crazy broad from Georgia, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and just divest and walk away from Ukraine, which I think would be an absolute disaster. And now we've seen him shift. That's the brilliance of Donald Trump. He was he blamed the war on Zelensky. I don't know if he still does, but he actually blamed the war on Zelensky. And now he's kind of found out, and the Democrats are loving this because they're saying it shows you how stupid he is. No, he's trying. He's certainly doing more than Weekend at Bernie's. And we're certainly not close, but certainly closer to peace than we were ever under Uncle Fluffy. So, the Democrats used to be the doves. And I'm going to get into the Democrats' problems at 4:30 after we talk to Howard, or maybe after the break. But they used to be the doves. They used to be the ones back in the 50s with Adlai Stevenson, who was the UN secretary under Trump and was the one that helped negotiate at the UN the situation with the Cuban Missile Crisis. And it's a famous speech where Adlai Stevenson demanded an answer from the Russians. Do you have missiles in Cuba? And the guy pretended like he didn't understand English. And the famous quote from Adlai Stevenson was, "Sir, I'm willing to wait till hell freezes over for your answer." Because by that time, we had established that, in fact, they did have missiles 90 miles off our coast. But the point is, back then, seeking peace at just about any cost, or I shouldn't say that. That's a bad, erase that sentence. Maybe we'll take two. The attempt at peace through talks was always encouraged. Always. There was never an idea that it's bad to talk to the enemy. When Jimmy Carter sat down with Anwar Sadat and Menachem Begum, Israel and Egypt, people were like, you are nuts. You are a little peanut farmer who's so incredibly naive and doesn't understand world history. These two people will never get along. And Carter, his probably greatest success, puts these two guys together. And then I was just watching a documentary. I had forgotten. Do you remember? Oh my God, I'm asking 31-year-old if you remember. But the assassination of Anwar Sadat, I forgot that was televised. It's one of the few, other than Reagan getting shot, it's one of the few, and I guess the Zapruder film got Kennedy, but I mean televised on live television, where they were having what she did yesterday, a military parade. And I think they were celebrating the accord that he had made with Menachem Begum in Israel. And everybody's going by, saluting Anwar and, boop, 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 boop. And all of a sudden, these guys jump out of a truck in the middle of the parade and just spray the dais. And they killed about 11 people, including Anwar Sadat, who was a great man. He truly was. It's a sad story. I don't know how I jumped off on that, but we need to be worried about this. Iran, the Iranian leader was there. And as I'm about to ask Howard at the top of the hour, how the hell did we lose India? The biggest democracy in the world. And they're playing footsies with Xi and Putin and Ung. That's a big loss for us. It really is. And I suppose the Democrats would blame it on Trump because we just doubled tariffs on India, 50% on the oil that they're getting from Russia. And that's why I think Putin is starting to get a little weary, because if Trump continues these tariffs against countries that are accepting Russian oil, they're going to be in trouble. Because remember, you got to remember when you're contemplating this and you're trying to form an opinion on where we should go and what our foreign policy should be, in terms of Russia and Ukraine, you got to always remember that they are a country in disarray. Nobody can say that out loud within the borders of Russia, but their economy is in the tank. It's in the toilet. They've lost 1 million men. Everybody in Moscow knows either a person or a family that has lost a child, because their recruits are like 16 to 22. Once you can shoot a gun, Vladimir sends you out in the field, Jack. And so you've got to believe that land swap, I think, is inevitable. And I think if Zelensky doesn't embrace that idea, that at minimum, we're going to have to give up the Crimea. And that can never be placed on Trump, because as most of you know, that was on Barack Obama. And they're probably going to give up Donetsk. But that's a win for Ukraine. Yes, you've lost territory that is yours. Yes, you were wrongfully invaded, but you've staved off one of the largest armies on the planet. You've maintained your capital, you maintain your government, because that's truly what Vladimir Putin wants. He wants to flip the government. He knows Zelensky is their Winston Churchill, and he wants him out. I mean, that's why I said there's no way he goes to Moscow, because he'd never make it out alive. And I apologize. I've got to stop doing that. I watched like 30 minutes of the show last night, which is really rare. I just can't watch this ugly mug. But yeah, I do that a lot. I do this a lot. And it picks up. I apologize. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about this. You will hear from Donald Trump on his show of force and his message for Vladimir Putin. A little bit later on the broadcast, we'll talk a little NFL football. Roger Goodell was on the Today Show, pumping up tomorrow's premiere, the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Dallas Cowboys. See, once again, they get it. It's going to be a horrible game. Philly's going to kill them. But the ratings will be out the roof. Why? Because it's the god doggone overrated, over-broadcast, Jerry Jones-led, incompetent Cowboys. It'll be 44-21. But the ratings will be out the roof because the Cowboy fans are fanatics, and everybody who's not a Cowboy fan loves to watch the Cowboys lose. I know I do. You know, strangely, my dad was a Cowboy fan.
Really?
And I never, ever found out why. You know how I am about people that root for teams in cities that they've never been to. Now, my dad's been to Dallas, but like, where'd that come from? Dallas?
Championship pedigree.
Yeah, I think he was a big fan of Roger Staubach's.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Roger Staubach. I get it. All right. We're stepping aside, coming right back. It's TRBS on a Wednesday, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, and we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Thursday edition, Clay and Buck will break down the absolute latest on everything surrounding the battle over Trump and Chicago and whether troops should be sent in. Also, the first day of the NFL season. We'll see if Buck has any idea that's going on. We'll break all that down and more for you. Come hang with us. Make sure you don't miss it. It'll be the Thursday edition of Clay and Buck.
Live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Attention, Medicare beneficiaries here in Kern County. If you are eligible for Medicare and looking for a doctor who listens and cares about you with minimal wait times and prompt referral authorizations, it's time you learned about QualCare IPA. QualCare IPA contracts with most
So
Medicare
when you go on the air, or are you on the air?
and provides you with
Really?
access to
When?
a large network of outstanding doctors and quality hospitals right here in Kern County. Medicare Advantage
I'm
health
trying to
plans
see
go beyond
Can I call
original
in?
Medicare benefits coverage, and understanding these coverage differences may be
So
confusing.
it's not
Call us
live?
today, 661-554-4544. Let us help you understand your healthcare options for 2025. Call today, 661-554-4544. That's 661-554-4544. Get the information you need and the coverage you deserve. For accommodations of persons with special needs at meetings, call 661-554-4544, TTY 711.
2,400 customers without power in South Carolina.
Newberry, Michigan expected to be without power for 24 hours.
Over 25,000 people without power in Cleveland, Ohio.
These are real headlines from just the last few days. Power outages are happening more often and they're getting worse. If you don't have a backup generator, it's time to get one. But gas generators, they're loud, smelly, and produce dangerous carbon monoxide. The Grid Doctor 3300 solar generator from My Patriot Supply is different. It's whisper quiet, requires no fuel, and it's safe to use indoors. Best of all, My Patriot Supply is offering an incredible deal for listeners of this station. When you go to mypatriotsupply.com and order a Grid Doctor 3300, they'll include a free expansion battery that doubles your backup power at no additional cost. Go to mypatriotsupply.com now and get prepared. That's mypatriotsupply.com.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
No one can beat us, no one can touch us. You won't find better prices. Shop and compare, we don't care. Take a look our way and come into Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
Oh no, Dad, I spilled juice on the carpet.
How many? Hey,
Don't worry, kiddo.
how many of these do
We
we have to do?
Stain-resistant carpet from Carpet
All
Outlet
three?
Plus.
Dad, look, he dunked his water bowl all over the new floors.
Everything is fine. We have brand new waterproof floors from Carpet Outlet Plus. You can
Give it
find
to Jen.
everything
She,
you need for
Jennifer.
family-proof floor at Bakersfield's
All I gotta
best
do is
flooring
read this,
store.
but I'm gonna
Now
ad-lib
offering
some of
1
it.
year, no interest financing. Carpet Outlet Plus, 3.5
I wish
blocks
all
west of
clients did
99
this.
on Rosedale Highway.
Yeah, we gotta hire her to teach some people how to write some scripture on her.
She's a smart girl. She really is.
JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Eight 842-537-6842-KERN. So the president, again, was meeting with the Polish president, which means anytime he sits down with any leader, or anybody for that matter, he conducts an impromptu news conference, which, you know, I cannot wait till they examine this in history and they compare the 4 years at Weekend at Bernie's and the 4 years, these final 4 years. I think Trump is more active than he was 16 through 20. I really do. I don't remember him. I mean, we went through COVID and they had daily press conferences. He wasn't involved every day, but he was involved on certain days. But I mean, every day he meets, he allows the entire press corps into the Oval Office or out in the Rose Garden or wherever they are, the East Room, and then he opens it up for questions, no matter what it's about. And he tries to tell them, let's at least keep it on the topic. And like the first two reporters will ask something about the Polish situation, the troops in Poland, and then they go off on a tangent. And the tangent, it really isn't a tangent actually, but they get into the whole Xi, Modi from India, Putin from Russia, meeting with Xi in China. And here's a little about what the president had to say.
I have no message to President Putin. He knows where I stand, and he'll make a decision one way or the other. Whatever his decision is, we'll either be happy about it or unhappy. And if we're unhappy about it, you'll see things happen.
The 2-week deadline has expired in which Trump truly believed that Putin was sincere about peace and was willing to make a deal. And on that deadline, that's why the Russian government has released talks of a talk with Zelensky. But again, as I mentioned, Putin does it masterfully by throwing in a caveat that is absolutely unacceptable. And that is that Zelensky come to Moscow. That's not happening. And Putin knows it. If we all know that, then you got to know that the former leader of the KGB knew good and doggone well this guy was not going to walk into a bear cave. Meantime, the president also talked about his show of force.
I thought it was a beautiful ceremony. I thought it was very, very impressive. But I understood the reason they were doing it, and they were hoping I was watching, and I was watching. My relationship with all of them is very good. We're going to find out how good it is over the next week or two.
That's well said. So we're throwing the ball back into Putin's court. And if you don't want more sanctions, if you don't want us to further ruin your economy, and if you want to lose a friend, which is why it's a good thing that our president be on fake good terms with the Russian president. Democrats, for the longest, have always thought it was, you know, when this broke, it was Reagan. It was this idea that we had to be confrontational with the Russians, that we couldn't sit down. And then Reagan comes in with this truth yet verified and sat down with Yeltsin and inevitably Gorbachev and actually made some advances in terms of limiting nuclear power. Not nuclear power, that's not a really accurate statement. Nuclear weapons. There's a difference between nuclear power and nuclear weapons. But they really did achieve a lot. And that was the first signal that we can actually talk to these people. And as I said earlier, in diplomacy, it used to be at least, that talking was always a good thing. Always. There was never not a reason, excuse my double negative, for not talking. It just doesn't make sense. And at least we've crashed that threshold, because we certainly didn't do it with Weekend at Bernie's the last 4 years. So it's a good thing that we're talking with the Russians. Truth but verified, because I don't believe a damn syllable that comes out of Putin's mouth. But you can box him into a situation where he has to capitulate at some point or another. But this whole axis of evil, we need to keep an eye on. And again, you've got to give kudos to Donald Trump, because NATO, you know, Uncle Fluffy talked about NATO and its support, and he bagged on Trump for demanding more money from NATO, when in fact, Trump gets back into the office and demands even more from NATO. Smart Democrats deny that NATO has never been stronger. Never been stronger. Trump gets them to kick in from 2% to 5%. And has anybody ever really asked the question, why do we give so much money, more than anybody, to defend them, to defend Western Europe? So at some point, Democrats have to embrace the fact that Donald Trump has done some good things, and strengthening the Western alliance is not only important, but it couldn't be any more important than it is today, particularly if you saw that video of those three devils holding hands, Xi, Putin, and Ung, with Prime Minister Modi bringing up the rear, and 26 other countries, including Iran, all playing footsies with these dictators. And by the way, final note before we get to Howard, did you see what they're calling an off-mic moment? They're claiming they did a Ralph Bailey and they were talking with their mic on and didn't know it. I don't buy that. But these two idiots, Xi and Putin, were talking about immortality. And Putin was telling him, you can have your organs transplanted and you can live immortally. You can be immortal. Are you stupid? Do you know how many ways there is to die? We're just talking about the girl from the Today Show whose husband died of brain cancer. Died in 4 months. I'm pretty sure you can't transplant the brain. And if you get lung cancer, you can transplant your lungs too. Super geniuses. Howard Marcus is next. Actually, you can transplant a lung.
This is AM 1180.
What do facts matter?
This is 96.1 FM, Bakersfield.
I don't think you could transplant both of them, though.
No, not at the same time, obviously.
I think you could transplant a lung.
You would probably have to do one lung and then leave the surgery, obviously heal, and then come back and do the other lung at a different time if you needed that.
But could you live on one lung?
You on it? Well, that's the other thing. How would you live on two bad ones?
Yeah, I don't think you could transplant. Let's ask. Let's ask. I hear a Lisa sighting. Oh, she's not going to come say hi?
In Maryland sharply opposed troop presence in Chicago and Baltimore.
Hey,
but
Siri.
Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry
Can you
is a
transplant
Republican.
2 lungs?
Greg Clugston, the White House.
The House of Representatives is getting back to work
It
after
is.
its August recess. Speaker Mike Johnson says he encouraged Republicans to use the August recess for explaining the big, beautiful bill's benefits to constituents.
Go into their districts, do town halls, business roundtables, meet with everybody, constituents, and just take the time to explain what's in it. Because in almost every scenario, literally like 99% of the time, when you explain what's in it, light bulbs go off and people start standing and applauding because they know it's going to help.
In the House, Republicans will continue their investigations of former President Biden, while Speaker Johnson navigates a split in his conference over whether the Trump administration should release more files in the Jeffrey Epstein investigation.
Later, girly.
Mexico and the United States have agreed to continue collaborating on cross-border security issues like fighting the trafficking of drugs, guns, and fuel.
Oh, that's right.
This announcement came during Secretary of State
where'd you get
Marco
that?
Rubio's visit
That's
Wednesday.
funny.
Both countries emphasized that the cooperation would respect each other's sovereignty.
Nice.
On Wall Street, the Dow down by
Yeah.
24
Why did she?
points.
I was going to say, why would she
Nasdaq
separate?
rose 218.
Is there a difference? Because I
More on
think I've
these
used
stories at
my script in the
townhall.com.
stockyard. Dude, in fact, that's why I mean, you want to
Dennis
meet me and
Prager
Romeo?
here
We're meeting
for
tonight. I
AmFed
said,
Coin and Bullion.
you want
I've
to go to
always been a
Mexicali
strong
here?
believer in precious metals investment, and I've always been
And I said,
fascinated
dude,
with rare
I love
coin
Mexicali,
collecting.
and I would
But
love to go to
owning the
Mexicali, but
wrong
I got like,
coins that only make
now,
dealers a lot of money can
literally,
be catastrophic
like
for
close to a
your
grand.
investment portfolio.
Sitting in my
AmFed
house.
Coin and Bullion
Because during
specializes
the whole
in
gout
taking
thing, I never was
people
walking
out
up
of
there.
non-performing
So I
coin
got like
portfolios
$900
and
worth
turning
of
them
script.
into gold,
I got an
silver, or
envelope, but I haven't
platinum
even opened
bullion. They
the
tailor
last
a
one he gave me.
portfolio
And then
based
I got like
on your
100
goals
sitting in
and not
my
what
little
they
drawer
want
that I
to
keep.
sell you.
Yeah.
You'll never experience scare tactics, misleading
Yeah,
hype,
we're going
or
up there tonight.
high-pressure sales.
Hey,
Owner Nick
I thought I
Rosen
heard
and
your
his very
voice.
knowledgeable staff.
And I said, she's
They
not
will
even come say
evaluate
hi.
your portfolio, show you how your coins have
Oh,
performed,
come on
and
in
take
and
the
say
time to
hi to
educate you on
everybody.
the ugly industry practices.
You guys want to see
so that
Lisa,
you
who
can
I
make an
referred
informed
to?
decision. Smart
Come on
people
and
can
say
make very
hi.
bad investments
Our
when
traffic
they're under
department, ladies
pressure
and gentlemen.
and lack the facts.
Lovely
Call
Lisa.
800-221.
She is my professional advisor, psychologist, and associate producer.
AmericanFederal.com.
And overall good day. Damn right. Damn right. But yeah, it's lonely over here. And the numbers are
I'm
getting
Bill
shorter
Robbins.
over there.
Bakersfield
Googly
police have
moogly.
arrested a suspect in a fatal
you see
stabbing
that?
that happened yesterday. Officers responded at about 1:30 Tuesday afternoon.
See
They
that?
were
I never
directed
thought
to the
about that.
400
Did
block
you
of
see that
South
coming?
Brown Street, where they found a man with
No?
severe lacerations and blunt force
Everybody
trauma
else
to
kind
the
of says
face.
they did.
First responders couldn't save him. They pronounced him dead
Based
at
on
the scene. Suspect
overall.
Michael Williams has been booked into the Kern County Jail. A 63-year-old passenger has
I didn't
died
either.
after being ejected following a single
How's
vehicle
Gooby doing?
crash a little after 3 o'clock Tuesday morning.
So-and-so, is it,
CHP Bakersfield was called to northbound Highway 99 north of David Road for a pedestrian on the shoulder waving at drivers. CHP believes the driver went to sleep and the car rolled over. The woman passenger
Yeah,
was
he's
not wearing
my
a seatbelt
barber.
and
He
was
sells real
ejected.
estate.
She was
and he's trying to
pronounced
swing
dead at
this
the
at the same
scene.
time.
At least one person has died after a head-on crash between two pickup trucks over the weekend.
No
It happened
kidding.
on Taft Highway.
Gooby's
That's according to
Barbershop.
California
My main
Highway
client,
Patrol.
Ralph
At
Bailey.
around 3:30 Sunday afternoon, a black pickup heading
Yeah.
west
Free
veered
haircuts?
into oncoming traffic,
That'd be nice.
colliding with another
Save me
vehicle.
30
The
bones.
impact caused one of them to roll over and come to rest on the roadway. One victim was declared deceased. Trespassing has been creating a problem for residents of
What the
Harmony
hell would I
Court
do
Senior
with a house?
Apartments. Residents say that
I
this
got
is
a
causing
two-bedroom
safety
apartment
concerns for people who
with an
live in the
apartment that I haven't
apartment
been
homes
in,
in Northwest
bedroom that I
Bakersfield.
haven't been in
Some report trespassers have been invading
8
their
years.
space at all hours of the
I've
day
almost
and
got it
night,
clean,
and
dude.
At least one
I've
resident has
almost got
reported
it
having
clean.
broken car windows.
I did a little
Another
more work
has
this
had
weekend.
items stolen from their
I think I
porch.
need one more
Tenants say
weekend.
that
I'll have
they've
it straight.
contacted management, but so far nothing
It's
has
amazing
been
the crap
done
I'm
about it.
finding.
I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think? This is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You got to get up close like this. Little thing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk
Does that
96.1
mean they're going
and
to take
AM
out the next
1180
one?
KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make your call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com.
Do they give you a number, roughly?
Now,
Just depends on what you're making,
you've
I
been
guess.
waiting all day for. Live
I'll
from the
wait till Friday. I'm
KERN
excited.
studio. Here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this Wednesday, 3rd day of November. I have no idea where that came from. I heard it the second it came out of my pie hole.
It's like, dang, we skipped a few months.
God, I wish it was November. I really do.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, true that. We still got lots to do. Cardi B, I got to talk about Cardi B.
Throwing at the pens.
Yes, oh, you knew it. I was going to say, did you see? This girl is who she is.
She really is.
She dodges a bullet and wins a libel suit. She's leaving court. Some guy asked, it was a rude question about her pregnancy and her, what's her man's name?
I can't remember who she's dating.
Well, some rapper, some extremely well-known rapper that I certainly don't know, but I thought the 31-year-old would know. And I can hear his name right off the top of my lips, but I can't come up with it.
They're saying Stephon Diggs.
No.
Weren't there pictures of the two of them on a boat?
Yeah, but that's not who impregnated her. Who's her
Oh,
ex-husband?
no. That's right. She's filing a divorce against Offset. That's what
Offset. And they asked her about the baby and it being Offset's and how that's going to work out. And she picked up something and threw it at him. After winning a libel suit for scratching a girl for being rude to her, she picks up. You said it was pens. I thought it was a water bottle that she throws at the guy.
I think there was something.
Just after winning a libel suit, coming out of court. And she essentially, 3.5 minutes after leaving court, committed a crime. Because that guy, technically, if somebody throws something at you and hits you, isn't that assault on minor? Isn't that a misdemeanor? A little bit? I don't know. Let's ask our next guest.
One got beat.
I kissed her and she kissed me. Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? If I throw something at you, Howard, and it hits you, is that assault?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, you remember the one that they charged
the sandwich
in Washington throwing a Subway sandwich
Yeah.
at the ICE officer.
That's right.
Yeah, hit him with the sun, and they were looking at a felony.
Yep. As
Yeah,
well they
just
should.
A federal officer, that's why. But
Yeah.
otherwise, it's a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably they just let just go away.
Yeah. So stupid.
Oh yeah, it's just dumb stuff.
She's
by the way,
real.
I think by the way, the father, the baby's father, was actually Flavor Flav.
No, it wasn't.
That's the extent of my rap knowledge.
That would be wild.
Woo! That'd be
He's got a big clock around his neck.
Yeah, that'd be an ugly baby.
Oh yeah, well,
that baby be so dark, you'd have to say she looked like underneath the bed. That's a dark baby. That baby would be so dark that Stevie Wonder would see it every day.
So we can go on with this. How dark was he?
That's a dark baby. I'm just saying. I told you I had some new black jokes.
They went on for that for about a half hour.
Really?
Way back when MTV did a roast of Flavor Flav, it was a hoot.
Oh my God! Did you ever watch the?
They couldn't do it nowadays.
What was the reality show that he was on where he hooked up with?
Flavor of Love.
It was actually it was Flavor's Love. It was the same thing that the guy from Poison did.
Yeah, but he met it because he was dating Sly's ex-wife,
right?
Bridget Nielsen.
Yeah, they were together.
But they met on another reality show. Yeah. It was like a real world where they put a bunch of failed celebrities in a house together.
Because Tammy Faye was on it.
Yes.
People at one point in time, and they ran it for a couple seasons.
Yeah.
They had a different group of people each time.
And the little
Tammy Faye in there, and of all things, the porn star Jeremy.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Hedgehog. His nickname was Hedgehog.
Yep. And the guy that was the little person.
Yeah.
He was on it.
You remember him? Oh yeah, it was Mini Me.
Yeah. Remember when he got drunk and urinated in the corner?
Peed in the corner.
Peed in the corner of the house. Yeah.
Drunk out of his mind.
Yep.
I think he had his side. He probably had a half a beer.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a hoot to watch.
That was
the real life.
The Surreal Life. That was a great.
Real life, not real life. Yeah.
That was a great show. I'm sorry.
It was Brigitte Nielsen.
Yep, Brigitte Nielsen.
He hooked up with her for a while, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the craziest couple because he is darker than charcoal. She is from Sweden, so she's whiter than the bottom of a shark.
Oh, yeah.
She's 5'11", he's 4'11".
Yeah, she's like 8 feet tall or something. Yeah.
And he's like 5 feet tall, a little bit taller. And it was just the craziest hookup in the world.
It was a hoot.
So much so that you're right. MTV gave them their own show. It was such a bizarre hookup.
Yeah, he did another show. Yeah, it was Flavor of Love. It was later, and I think that was a whole bunch of women competing.
Oh yes, that's right.
That's
the one I was talking about.
The 8 girls that would compete. And remember, the girl from New York was the badass.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What her name? New York too.
That was her name.
I think they moved a lot back to VH1 back then. I think it was a lot of them on MTV, and then VH1 became known for a bunch of that stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
Or vice versa. I can't remember.
I'm such an idiot for loving all this stuff because I'm coming off of one of the great strippers. Just to give you some sense of what these.
So you're saying utterly insane women? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Damaged goods.
Oh, it's one of those intellectual shows on television. Howard, are you as troubled as the meeting in China as Ralph Bailey is? Excuse me.
Well, something to point out, for about the last 30 plus years, India was the leader. There was a whole block of nations called the non-aligned nations, and India was essentially the leader.
Yep.
And they took, during the height of the Cold War, there was a whole block of countries all over that were non-aligned, east or west, and India was like the big player in that. And they always prided themselves in trying to in between, with the exception of obviously the conflicts with Pakistan and China. They always tried to remain kind of, even though they were the world's largest democracy, they were trying to remain neutral. And they've never really been specifically pro-U.S. They've always been kind of doing this kind of little shenanigans on the side.
Yeah.
And so I'm not real surprised by it. But, you know, the answer to a lot of this stuff is, you know, Trump's now saying to the 600,000 students coming in. It's like, dude, they just intercepted the largest precursor shipment ever of precursor chemicals for drugs from China.
I saw that.
140,000 barrels capable of making 432,000 doses of methamphetamines and fentanyl.
Yeah.
Look, nothing comes out of China without the Chinese government knowing it. This is not like some random company. And my answer is the same reason why India and everybody's buying Iranian oil. You realize Iran only has one major refinery right there on the Gulf. You take that out and all the oil sales stop. We managed to bomb their nuclear facilities. You give them, you know, we could find another excuse. Hey, if you don't comply with the sanctions, we're going to really cripple your economy, and we're going to cut India and China off in oil imports by taking out their port. It's an easy thing. You know, we've done worse.
Yeah, but that gets
my answer is, go ahead.
That gets a little dicey, doesn't it? Isn't that really how the Japanese got into World War II?
Yeah, we cut off the oil imports to Japan, gave them no choice, because that's why they went into Indonesia over the oil and Java and all that. Yeah, it was exactly why they started the Indian campaign, was for resources, because they were resource poor, and they were a major at the time importer of steel and oil. And, you know, we had a reason to cut them off, but unfortunately we didn't really see the consequence of that. We sort of forced them into it in a way.
Right. Right.
But I know the issue is, you know, I've had a real problem with China for years now. You know, we built them up in the 70s as a counterweight to Russia under Deng Xiaoping, and built them into this economic idea. The idea being to offset China. Well, the Cold War is over. We don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, we've funded their war machine. We really have. And you know, the stolen technology continually happens. It just happened the other day. They had another guy arrested, and they're obviously sending these precursor drugs and fentanyl here, with a clear indication of they're trying to harm our economy. Their intellectual thefts are enormous, and we're playing patty cake with them.
Well, I think it's even worse than that. I think they're trying to destroy us from within. I think Xi and the Chinese government is well aware that we are the most drug-consuming country on the planet. And it was great to see the U.S. Attorney, Judge Jeanine Pirro, down there talking about that down in Texas, and with the display of the fentanyl that is coming into this country. And I just don't understand it, Howard.
It's a horrible drug.
don't.
I don't understand why people take it. You know, it really is.
I mean, it's like PCP. It's a deadly thing. You don't know what's going on. You're out of control. And I just can't imagine taking a drug that you know kills.
Oh, yeah.
That you know kills.
And cocaine does the same thing. I mean, all these drugs have huge side effects. Methamphetamine is Mary worked with a coworker at methamphetamine. My half sister was a methamphetamine. You lose your teeth. You get scars everywhere. It ages you horribly. You've seen the people on the street.
Yeah, but see, that's the deal.
That.
That's the deal. Meth doesn't kill you the way, neither does cocaine. Really, neither does heroin unless you get a bad batch. You can be a heroin addict for years. It's going to destroy your life. We know that with meth, as you mentioned. We even know that with cocaine. Yeah. But fentanyl can kill you on the first dose.
Yeah,
the first time.
And they're putting in other stuff other than obviously fentanyl. They're putting it into drugs that look like aspirin, things like that. And kids are taking them not knowing it's fentanyl.
I have a very dear friend who lost her ex-husband. He was, and his fiance, they were doing coke, and discovered, the authorities did, that it was laced with fentanyl. They had no idea. Thought they were just doing a couple of lines of coke. 3 days later, found dead in their apartment. Mirror still laying there. And they examined the coke. What they thought was just simple coke had been laced with fentanyl. Dead as doornails.
No, we create the problem. You're right. We are a huge drug-consuming society. I mean,
still.
The problem is we create the demand and fulfilling it. If it wasn't China, it would be somewhere else.
Yep.
What we've done is we've destabilized our southern border. We've obviously created a huge criminal element in Mexico. We've enabled China to find us using our own vices. It's terrible. The answer is stupid. But the problem is, if we cut China off and punish them for doing basic covert warfare against us, somebody else is going to step into the gap. Crime is crime.
Yeah. Are you on a cell phone, Howard?
No, I'm on a crappy landline again.
Yeah, it's going in and out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just sitting. I'm not sitting in one spot. I'm not pacing. So
okay, all right.
Yeah, I can hear it a little static now and then.
Yeah, a little jumpy, a little bit.
I've thrown across the room, but this is as good as I can get. That's the sad part of living in the boonies.
Yeah, true that.
It's a landline. That's the worst part.
I know. And why? And by the way, why do you have a landline in the year 2025?
Well, this one's worse. That's the problem.
And now we can't even hear you.
I'm gonna call you back on your cell phone, Howard.
All right, yeah, do that. I'll go run and go get my cell phone.
All right, cool. All right, we only got a couple of minutes left with Howard Marcus having troubles with his landline. Actually, I've always wanted a landline, just so I can have like an answering machine, so I don't have to answer the phone. Because all my friends know I don't go to the bathroom without my phone, almost literally. I'll sit there with my phone for a little while, but I know that was too much information. But I think we got Howard Marcus back. Go ahead, sir. There we go. Much better.
Isn't that scary when the cell phone is better than the landline?
Isn't that crazy? 2025, baby. 2025.
I'll tell you. We have for emergencies, because there's times when we have a power outage here.
Oh, true.
Everything fails. And emergencies like the fire and stuff, you have to have some kind of landline.
Yeah, true. Very true.
We've had that since we were in the other place in Hart Flat. Same reason.
Yeah, it's a smart play.
Kind of emergency thing.
Especially after you told us that they're turning off the damn power almost daily.
Oh, they do it all the time up here, and they're
crazy.
They're hurting the Kernville businesses are closing down because of it. Elderly people are sitting here sweating with no power. People with medical devices. It's terrible.
That is just insane. That's insane. What if you have sleep apnea and you have a CPAP? What if you have other medical instruments that have to be plugged in? That is just crazy. That's just
crazy.
crazy.
A lot of it is because the old people can't afford $1,000 generator.
Right. Yeah. The other issue I want to get into is that I read that Donald Trump is meddling with the New York election. But I think the story is he is alleged, and everybody involved has denied this, the White House, Eric Adams, but that he is going to give Eric Adams a spot in the cabinet or in the administration so that he'll pull out so that Cuomo doesn't split the vote and can beat Mamdani, the communist running in New York. Now, the other thing that I don't think, the reason I don't think that's true is because everybody forgets Curtis Sliwa is in this as well, and he ain't getting out.
Candidate, he's an honest guy, yeah.
Yeah, and if you wanted to pick somebody to pull out, you want Eric Adams in more than you want Cuomo. Cuomo, we know, is a crook and a despicable human being who a lot of New Yorkers think killed their grandparents during COVID.
Well, he did. Oh, he did. No doubt. And placing COVID patients in elderly, in old folks' homes where the people are already compromised by health. He killed a ton of people, probably thousands for all we know.
Yeah, he did.
And he's a despicable person. He really is.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
That's really a case of the lesser two evils. Only because Mamdani is just so extreme that it makes Cuomo look viable.
See, I think,
to be honest, yeah.
I think sometimes you have to do what my pop used to say and give a guy a rope and let's see if he's a cowboy. Give New York Mamdani. Because we know intellectually socialism, communism doesn't work. Go ahead and ruin the city of New York. Go ahead and see where that leaves the Democratic Party.
They've done this for 40 years. That's why how Giuliani came in, because it was so horrible before him. Times Square was a cesspool. And, the reality of it is I'm not even sure Mamdani is going to win, because what they're not talking about is the largest population of Jews outside of Israel is in New York.
Yep.
And they've been real quiet about it. But you think they're going to go vote for this openly anti-Israel, anti-Semitic loon?
No.
And there's a huge voting block there, not counting the normal Republican votes, which aren't really as much as the Democrats. But the Jews that normally vote Democratic, God knows why.
Well,
the Jews that normally vote Democratic are going to hold their nose and vote for anybody but this Mamdani guy, because they know what they're going to get.
Well, that's why before Cuomo got in, the political prophet predicted that Eric Adams would win easily. And then Sliwa got in, and then Cuomo got in, despite getting blown out by Mamdani in the primary. He's still going to throw his nose in, knowing damn well that they're going to split the vote and Mamdani's going to win.
Yeah, there's sometimes it's I don't. This has happened before. I mean, but I don't get why they even do this, knowing you're not going to win and you're enabling a horrible candidate to win.
Yeah,
what do you
I don't get it
from this?
I don't
why
understand.
are you doing it? And it's a shame. I don't think the thing with Trump is necessarily true, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. They've got to get one of these guys out.
Yeah,
so they don't split the vote. I think Sliwa would be the best candidate because, first of all, he's got a 40-year reputation of being an honest guy, a serious crime fighter.
What was the group he was head of?
Guardian Angels.
Guardian Angels, that's right.
Yeah, he still is the head. As far as he is. I'm not sure if he is now. But
Still wearing the beret.
The red berets. They patrolled the subways and the crime areas and stuff in groups. And by the way, they were unarmed.
Yep.
Maybe pepper spray at that. At best. But these guys weren't vigilantes. And he's been a pretty good guy. I know he's had a radio show for years. In New York.
Very successful.
And I'd like to see him win. But you're right. When they split the vote. And then you've got the marginalized voters that are going to vote for Mamdani. I've seen some of these interviews, these young, clueless idiots. Oh, my God. Rent control is a good thing. And who cares? The billionaires should be taxed, and pay for my stuff. It's like, you just don't get it.
No, they don't.
They really don't. They don't comprehend it because they're young and dumb.
Yeah.
And that's, the old joke. When you're young, I guess you're supposed to be dumb because you've got to learn.
They've got one of the highest tax rates in this country. And what do you think? Yeah. What do you think those billionaires in New York are going to do if they up their rates? FLA, baby. FLA. Yep. First flight out of LaGuardia. They're all going to Florida. All of them.
Well, and rent control, the question came out with rent control. It's like when you eliminate the profits for a landlord that he has to use to make repairs and keep up the apartments, what do you think is going to happen when he stops doing that?
Yep.
It's a terrible situation. The good news is we don't live there.
No kidding.
It's kind of a petri dish we get to watch. And what's going to end up being, as you know, it's going to be an object lesson for everyone. What happens when these real hardcore lunatic left progressives get in power? This is what you're going to get. And I actually think it's a good thing because it's coming up just before the midterms.
Yeah, I agree.
In office to make all these horrible changes, and it's going to be terrible. And New York's going to look at this, and the rest of the country's going to look at New York and go, "This is what you get if you try and roll back Trump's movement."
Yeah, absolutely. Whaley, here we talk about at 4:30. Big registration change within the two parties.
Oh, I heard, big time.
Yeah, big time. And that's why I say let Mamdani win. Let the American people see what the Democratic Party looks like in 2025. It ain't your daddy's Democratic Party, I'll tell you that.
Oh, it hasn't been for 30 years now.
Yeah, it's not my Democratic Party from the 90s when I was a liberal Democrat.
No more Tip O'Neills, no more Blue Dogs.
Yeah,
gone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Always great to talk to you, Howard. Stay cool. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk to you on Thursday. Say hi to Mary.
All right. Hey, at least get out on the link so you can golf.
I think I am getting out this weekend. Her foot still hurts, but I think I can swing a golf club.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Well, have fun and talk about it next week.
I definitely will. All right, we'll see you. Howard Marcus. Quick time out. We'll read a couple of text messages, then we'll get to the bottom of the hour, and I'll talk about that transition from parties, Democrat to Republican. Registration down on the left, up on the right. We can still win the midterms. Quick break. It's TRBS on a Wednesday, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
On the Thursday Armstrong and Getty Show, military experts weighing in on China's hardware that they had in that big parade. Plus, prominent lefty author finally admits, yeah, dudes playing women's sports is crazy.
And it looks like the state of Florida will be the first to eliminate mandates for vaccinations for kids to go to school. Is that a good thing or not? Talk about that next. Armstrong and Getty Show.
Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Please meet Paul Sheldon's client, Vivian Rushing.
Hi, my name is Vivian Rushing. I am a client of Paul Sheldon. They helped me get everything in order. I had no clue what I was doing, and they were wonderful. The staff is amazing. Lynn and Kelly go out of their way to make you feel comfortable when you walk through the doors and make sure you have everything that you need. Paul is very accommodating. He uses himself as an example to help you understand the process of the insurance and what benefits you should be looking at and what you shouldn't be looking at and how to go about getting it together. I have recommended Paul Sheldon. Just a couple of days ago, I was in line to get my medications, and this gentleman was talking about retiring and didn't know what to do. I told him, contact Paul Sheldon. He's the best. I just want to say thank you, Paul Sheldon. You're wonderful and your staff is amazing.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298. I was always tired, sleepy, and had no energy.
I had relentless, debilitating headaches.
Valley Fever has many faces and impacts people differently. If you have a lingering cough, fever, or painful breathing for more than 2 weeks, talk to your doctor.
I am Quan Louie.
I am Bryn Kerrigan.
And we are the faces of Valley Fever.
Visit currentpublichealth.com to learn more.
It's the JR Show.
So Gavin Newsom wants to counteract what Texas is doing in their redistricting by trying to take the power back from an independent council so he can redistrict the California lines. Matter of fact, he's so confident that he's ready to put it before the voters. He keeps saying, don't poke the bear. Only you're not the bear, Gavin. We are the voters. And we'll have the final say. And you, sir, will have egg on your face.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. The Charlie Kirk Show, weekdays at 6 p.m. on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now,
College, I was a substitute pip for about 3 months. Did you guys know that? I traveled with him for 3 months, and I was a substitute. I was the fourth guy, just in case one of them went down. They brought in Ralphie. You didn't know that?
Did not know that, no.
It's the biggest lie I've ever told.
I knew it.
The biggest whopper I have ever told. Except for when I tried to tell the 31-year-old I was 55. I think I was 52 and I was actually 57. And then come to find out she knew my age the whole time. She said, my mother listens to you because I confessed. I said, you didn't have to confess. I knew your age the whole time. My mother listens to your show. Quick time out. We'll talk about the Democrats and the Republicans when we come back.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The conservative news network Newsmax has filed an antitrust lawsuit against Fox News. It says Fox has sought to maintain its market dominance through intimidation and exclusionary business practices designed to stifle competition. The lawsuit says Fox has sought to block television distributors from carrying Newsmax or minimize its exposure, pressured guests not to appear on the rival network, and hired private detectives to investigate Newsmax executives. President Trump suggests
so I got a genie thing too. I forgot to say that.
Deploying the National Guard to fight
some
crime.
kind of mechanism where I can get Netflix and all my stuff that's on my phone on my television.
On Wall Street, the Dow down by 24 points, but the Nasdaq rose 218.
Yeah, but you might. I'm gonna try tonight. You and JR might have to come over to give me better smell.
96.1 and AM 1180.
But they got the manual. I should be able to. I mean, and they've got pictures. Yeah, they've got like pictures.
96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. Bakersfield police have arrested a suspect.
Yeah, they threw that in there.
That happened yesterday.
And I've got some
Officers
kind of
responded at about 1:30 Tuesday afternoon. They were directed to the 400 block of South Brown Street, where they found a man with severe lacerations and blunt trauma to the face. First responders couldn't save him. They pronounced him dead at the scene. Suspect Michael Williams has been booked into the Kern County Jail. At least one person has died after a head-on crash between
Oh,
two
it
pickup
just
trucks
started.
over the weekend. It happened
Literally.
on Taft Highway at around 3:30 Sunday afternoon. A black pickup heading west veered into oncoming
That
traffic,
is
colliding
the
with another
ugliest. Look
vehicle.
at her
One
outfit that
victim
she
was
loves. She
declared
made
deceased.
herself.
I'm Bill
That
Robbins
is
in the
the ugliest
KERN
thing
newsroom
I've-
with news every
That
half hour.
mushroom thing. No,
When
I
it
don't mind the
breaks on
sequins.
News
I don't
Talk
like the mushroom
96.1
dress.
and AM 1180
Like,
KERN.
it's just too much
Grown-ups, don't go
material
back to school.
to be
Go
an
forward
athlete.
through school into your future as an IT professional.
Oh,
Whether
yeah,
you're
it
starting
was.
out, switching careers,
She's
or
about
a
to get
veteran
broken
ready
and
for
start the
change,
damn
My
set.
Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Yeah, you got to. That's
Your
what killed
rewarding career in
Fritz.
IT awaits.
Did you watch
That's
that last night?
mycomputercareer.edu.
Oh, it was so
An
good.
elite
He couldn't get his first
certification
serve in.
partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the
Yeah,
VA
that was
benefits.
good.
If you are
I didn't
50
like
or
it until he
older, it is
explained it.
recommended that you get
That his
vaccinated
daughter
against pneumococcal
created
pneumonia,
it. I was
a
like, okay,
potentially
I'll
serious
give you a
bacterial
pass.
lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. If you're an adult, 19 to 49, with certain underlying medical
Is that
conditions
good?
like asthma, diabetes, chronic heart
Oh,
disease,
girl.
or COPD, vaccination is also recommended. Talk to your doctor about vaccination
And that's
today
what that's
and
what
learn
I'll
more
do.
at
That's what kills Sciattack.
mon.org/protect yourself.
She couldn't get her
Furnished
first
by
serve
the
in,
American Lung
and I was
Association in
literally laying in
collaboration
bed.
with
Right, it was a
Thursday
crucial
edition, Clay
point.
and Buck will break
And it was
down
like I
the
was talking
absolute
to her.
latest
I said,
on
a minute to
everything
second
surrounding the battle
I
over
don't care
Trump
where she
and
puts it. Just hit
Chicago
the
and whether
shit
troops
out of it.
should be
And
sent
she hit a
in.
backhand,
Also,
and she just
first day
hit
of
it
the
as hard as she could,
NFL season.
and she
We'll
hit
take
it
a look
right
at
to
the
her,
media that's going
and it's
on.
short
We'll break
hopped, and
all
she couldn't
that
even hit
down
it.
and more
And
for
I was
you.
like, that a
Thank you,
girl.
Russ. Make sure you don't
Just
miss
attack
it.
her
The
second
Thursday edition
serve.
of Clay and Buck.
Live 9 to noon. News Talk
God damn it, I wanna
96.1
watch
and
this.
AM 1180
Actually, I should watch it.
KERN.
I'm
The
DVRing it.
Armstrong and Getty Show. Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk
I gotta see this.
96.1 and AM 1180
Advantage?
KERN.
Advantage?
Now
Advantage?
back to the Ralph
Put it up!
Getty Show.
Oh. I got it. Naomi Osaka is on Arthur Ashe Court in New York at the U.S. Open. I actually should turn this off because I'm DVRing it. Well, I guess we can watch the first set. And she won her first. She's up 1-love to start the match. Dude, I'm telling you, if she gets out of this, now that Sciattack is gone, look at this, Coco Vandeweghe. I don't know why I didn't put it together, because how many Vandeweghes are there?
Not really.
But I went to school. I graduated where Kiki Vandeweghe graduated, and his little brother, I think his name was Brooke, was a couple of years younger than Kiki. And their family's like royalty. It really is. She is Kiki's niece. Their mother, Kiki and Brooke's mother, was a beauty queen. His father, Ernie, played for the Knicks for like 8 years. He had a decent career, 5, 6, 7, 8 years in the NBA. You got a pension for the rest of your life. And back then you were making six figures when the median salary was probably 35 grand a year. You know what I'm saying? And then Kiki was an absolute superstar at UCLA and bounced around the NBA. He was a shooter. His brother had absolutely no talent, which sucked because he was there when I was there and he could have played on our team. And this was while his brother was at UCLA. And I remember when his brother was a sophomore, I was a senior. And I was like, we're going to have a Vandeweghe on our basketball team. And the boy barely made the JV. Because I thought at 9th grade, he's Kiki Vandeweghe's brother. He's Ernie Vandeweghe's son. He can play for us in 9th grade. No, he barely made the JV. Please stand by. Where is my phone? Oh, it's bill related. You know when the numbers come up in the front and there's no name? It's a bill. No, I keep getting this Valley Strong Union. A new payee of $1,450 was added on September 2nd. If this wasn't you, kindly, and I keep putting report junk because the only problem.
Don't reply to him.
Don't even report
don't even
junk and
reply.
block them.
Because it may be connected to another string of new fake texts and
So
whatnot.
isn't that more reason to delete and report it?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I thought you were replying.
No, I'm going to delete and
delete
report.
it. Well,
Yeah. But that's the third time I've gotten something from Valley Strong. And the only problem is I bank with Chase. I've never banked with Valley Strong in my life. And I keep getting it's the third one I've gotten. 842-5376, 842-KERN. As I mentioned at the top of the show, the Democrats have lost in a recent assessment, kind of census, 2.1 million registered voters. And simultaneously, where are they going? They're not going, when I first saw that, I said, well, I bet about 1 million of them are going independent. No. 2.4 million new registered Republicans. Now, why is that? Because the Democrats are so off the grid in terms of 80-20 issues. What's the matter?
I was gonna say you sent me that if you're looking for the audio.
I sent you the
Democrat
Hakeem
one, yeah.
Jeffries. Oh, sweet. Play it. Listen to this. This is a great package that I don't know who put together. It may say on there, but just listen. It's a great package.
Speaking of math, I do want to ask about a New York Times investigation showing that Democrats are losing registered voters in all 30 states that track party registration. We're putting on the screen the data. It shows altogether Democrats have lost 2.1 million voters. Republicans have gained 2.4 million. That's a deficit that you have of 4.5 million voters. Why are voters turning away from your party? What is the problem?
Hakeem Jeffries.
Most of that activity, as I understand it, has occurred in Florida and Texas. Certainly, it is the case that nationally, we're going to have to invest more in these two red states. At the end of the day, it's also going to be important for us to continue to make clear for as Democrats. And the more we can lean in, we stand for as a party, the better off we'll be moving forward.
That is something that I'm working for at the national level, and we are hoping that we can have gender affirming here for our trans kids, and that it's a sad thing for us.
Now more than ever, we're short of workers. We have a population that is not reproducing it on its own with the same level that it used to. The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
It is not a criminal violation to enter the
Jasmine
country
Crockett.
illegally. It's not a criminal. It's a crime. It's not a crime.
And in the same way that when we talk about defund the NYPD, the entirety of the push is defund the NYPD and refund all of these different social services and things that actually create safety.
That's the difference between Republicans and the more we can lean into what we stand for as a party, the better off we'll be moving forward.
I love that package. Do you see what I'm saying? They are just completely here is how you have to examine this, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. Democrats, there used to be a time in America where most white people hated black people. And in my lifetime, I was born in 1962. If my mother living in Georgia wanted to date a white man, she'd have been thrown in jail. If my father in the state of South Carolina wanted to date a white woman, he'd be cuffed and maybe even secretly driven away and hung in a tree. Maybe not in 62, certainly in 52. Certainly in 52. Maybe not 62, he'd be hanging in a tree. Well, you don't even know in the deep, deep South in the early 60s. But my point is, it was against the law, interracial marriage. And we've seen the transition. We've seen the transition where just about every white person thought they were superior to an African American. We've seen a transition. Democrats truly believe in their hearts that there will be some acceptance of transgenderism, which they don't understand. We accept transgenderism. You want to be identified as a woman? That's fine. But what they want us to believe is that there is no difference and no advantage to being born a biological male and then all of a sudden identify as a woman and compete with women. They truly believe that there'll be an evolution, and somehow 80% of this country will believe, yeah, it's fair that Chris all of a sudden identifies as Christina and he's going to compete with women. Yeah, that seems logical. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. That's never going to happen. That's never, ever, 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 ever going to happen. And they're not only doubling down, they're tripling down on parents' rights. The idea that your child can transition, tell their homeroom teacher, and the homeroom teacher will keep that a secret from you. They think that's good policy. That's 80-20 on crime. Trump has put the Democratic Party in a box where J.B. Pritzker and this idiot communist in New York, because is there in the history of American politics, has there ever been, no matter whether you're a Democrat or Republican, has there ever been a more stupid phrase than defund the police? And so now Trump's got them in a box where they're fighting those who want to fight crime. And today, Trump did something brilliant. He said, screw beginning in Illinois. We're going to start in Louisiana. Let's start in a red state where the governor is welcoming the National Guard. And let me tell you something. If it has the impact that it had in D.C., where in the period that the Guard have been there and they're talking about extending it, and carjackings went down by 87%. If this thing becomes a trend where the National Guard's presence, not necessarily active in arrests, just a presence, if this thing catches on and it lowers, because as you all know, New Orleans has a huge murder rate. Baton Rouge ain't that safe. And if somehow the murder rate plummets just by their presence, you've got Pritzker and all these wannabe presidents in a box fighting those who are not only fighting crime, but fighting it effectively. And now they're screwed. And that's why this has been an absolute whoosh swing from one party to the other. Because even if you're a moderate Democrat, you can't sign off on the idea that there's more chromosomes than X and Y. You know what I'm saying? That you're going to deny science that men have XYs, women have XX, and there's nothing else to it. There are females and there are males. And never are you going to convince the overwhelming majority of Americans that there's no physiological advantage for a person born a male who can wear a dress, who can change their body, and that of a female. I go back to John McEnroe's comments when he went on whatever the CBS show is with Gail, and back then it was Charlie Rose. And McEnroe said, Serena Williams is the greatest female tennis player in the history of tennis. There probably won't be anybody better. But she couldn't beat the lowest ranked man on the tour. And Charlie Rose and Oprah's pal just about defecated on themselves. Their heads almost literally blew up on television. And Charlie Rose was like, why would you say that? And he was like, because it's true. As I remember, very shortly after that, or maybe before that, and that's what prompted the question, Serena was on Stephen Colbert, and Colbert said, could you beat a male? And she said, oh, there's no question. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. She said, I could play the worst tennis player on the men's tour, and he'd beat me 6-love in about 15, 20 minutes. She said, they're faster, they're quicker, they serve faster. It wouldn't even be close. And the Democrats are counting on us believing that there'll be a day in the future where a majority of Americans say, yeah, I don't mind my daughter getting dressed with a biological male. I don't mind my daughter being hurt by a biological male, like the young woman who still has brain cancer from the biological male that spiked the ball in volleyball and hit her dead in the face.
Brain
She's
damage.
still, what did I say?
You said brain cancer.
I was thinking of the guy from the Today Show.
Yeah.
Causing her brain damage. Still, it's never going to happen. And I'm telling you, we got a chance at the midterms. If this swing and that was Dana Bash, by the way, who was the star of that, the host of the show where that piece was played. Somebody else doctored the package to add the effects, but that was Dana Bash. That was CNN admitting that there's been a swing in registration. We've got a chance at the midterms. I'm telling you, we really do, because the Republican Party is just falling on finally the side of pure common sense. Parental rights, immigration. What did Uncle Fluffy tell us? Well, I need Congress to. It's not my fault. There's nothing I can do. Trump's in there. A month later, it's shut down. Completely shut down. No Congress. Sign of the pen. Not the auto pen, mind you, but Donald Trump's actual John Hancock. Parental rights, crime, transgenderism. They're all on the wrong side of the overwhelming majority. We got a shot at the midterms, I'm telling you. We got a really good shot at the midterms. We'll come back and check the board. We haven't done that all day. What are you guys talking about? 842-5376 is our phone number, 842-KERN. You're listening to the Ralph Bailey Show on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 90
Messmaker.
KERN.
On the Thursday Armstrong and Getty Show, military experts weighing in on China's hardware that they had in that big parade. Plus, prominent lefty author finally admits, yeah, dudes playing women's sports is crazy.
And it looks like the state of Florida will be the first to eliminate mandates for vaccinations for kids to go to school. Is that a good thing or not? Talk about that next. Armstrong and Getty Show.
Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Hope you're with us tomorrow, a Thursday, when Daniel Petrie, our money man from Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors, joins us at 4:30. Again, you know what Daniel brings to this broadcast. He's so important to the show, updating us on the deficit, giving us numbers on silver and gold, telling us where the market's going to go, trying to get into the head of Jerome Powell and figuring out where interest rates are going to go. And he has a political knowledge that can tell you what's going on inside the Beltway and how that impacts your wallet. And Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors are all about retirement. If you're like me and you're staring at debt in the mug, or at least thinking about it, call Daniel at 395-9400, 395-9400, or check in tomorrow at 4:30 when he joins us live on the broadcast. Daniel Petrie and the folks at Messmaker, Petrie Wealth Advisors.
This broadcast is for informational purposes only. Does not constitute a solicitation or offer to buy or sell any security, future option, or other financial.
What do you got?
Offer to provide
3-3?
Any investment advisory or other services to any person in any jurisdiction by Daniel Petrie or MPWA Inc., DBA Messmaker and Petrie Wealth
3-2?
Advisors. The views expressed in this broadcast
Osaka?
are prepared based upon the information available to us at the time, and we are under no obligation to update our views.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
No one can beat us, no one can touch
Yeah.
us. You won't find better prices. Shop
Oh, it's
better.
out.
We don't care.
I can't tell whether they're in or out from here.
Come into
I thought that was in.
Every day is sale day.
Too far deep.
I can't tell.
Don't worry, kiddo. We have stain-resistant carpet from Carpet Outlet Plus.
Dad, look, he dumped his water bowl all over the new floors.
Everything is fine. We have brand new waterproof floors from Carpet Outlet Plus. You can find everything you need for family-proof
Do you
floor
see
at
how
Bakersfield's
close
best
some of
flooring
these calls
store.
are?
Now offering
It's
1 year,
so
no
good
interest
that they've gone to
financing.
the
Carpet
laser
Outlet
thing.
Plus, 3.5 blocks west of 99 on
Because there's
Rosedale
no way
Highway.
those guys could get those right. When it just clips the line by a minute, there's no way they could get that.
The Bakersfield Ronald McDonald House Galactic Gala
on
Or
October
just
1st,
to know, just has
2025
to
at the
ticket.
Bakersfield
It's
Country
like
Club.
it's like
They
the
got
strike
auction
zone.
items,
If
including
it just
trips, Raider
barely
tickets, wine,
touches the
and
line,
more.
it's
Now,
good.
during the Galactic Gala, a night of fun and elegance, the Bakersfield
girl,
Ronald
if you can
McDonald
break it,
House
you can win a
provides
set.
comfort, care, and support for families while their
4-2, serve
child is
5-2, and it's
hospitalized.
over.
The Galactic Gala
That
is
was
their
out.
signature event, which helps to raise awareness and funds for the local house. All proceeds
that
from
was
this special
good. That
event
was
stay
so
local.
out
There
to
are
me.
sponsorship and tables available. Call the Bakersfield Ronald McDonald House at 661-437-4130 or visit
Townsend won again.
rmhcsc.org/Bakersfield.
Oh, she won
For more information on the event,
semi.
Ronald
She's in the
McDonald
final.
House Gala is honoring Senator
Yeah.
Shannon Grove this year, helping
Good for
families
her.
stay close. We are a force together.
Good,
All
Romeo.
proceeds from this special event stay local. There are sponsorship and tables available. October 1st, Bakersfield
what's he
Country
pumping up?
Club. Get your tickets now.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to
Why is
noon.
he- why is he
Now
doing
back
that
to
on
the
our-
Ralph
on our
Bailey
part?
Show
How
on News Talk
one of our
96.1
deals?
and AM 1180 KERN.
842-537-6842-KERN. Let's check the board, see what you guys are talking about. What do you got?
Ralph, my
On a
dad was a big
dark
fan of the
desert
Cowboys too, but
highway.
he liked Tom Landry.
My dad loved Tom Landry too. He loved that stoic, unemotional, because that was my dad. Just very unemotional. And it was weird. I moved up here. My dad had been working here before I moved up here. And then when he passed away, whenever I'd run into like nurses or other physicians that worked with him, they'd be like, "Man, your dad was a hoot. He was a funny man." And I was like, "I don't know what Ralph Bailey you met, but that wasn't the guy at the house." What else you got?
Any dates for the Honor Flight fundraiser?
No, not yet. That's funny. You should mention that. We talked about that this morning. Because the only reason that is because we have, for those that are watching on YouTube, Brunch Fest coming up. We got a couple of things coming up. We got Brunch Fest coming up, and then Honor Flight is coming up right after that. And our events coordinator, Jen Bowden, is now on the board of Honor Flight, which, let me shut up. Let me shut up. So she's flying to Washington. I won't be going, but Jen Bowden will be going. So we don't want to, we got a lot of things going on in October. My guess, it'll be late October. And it's a very stressful time for the kid because every year, I think we're going to raise like $3,000 and just really let down my veterans, our veterans. But we're off to a fast start because on my vacation, unbeknownst to you, because I was on vacation. In fact, I had to come back from LA for this. Jen and I, our events director, went up to North Kern Valley State Prison, and these guys have gotten on board. The prisoners have gotten on board on Honor Flight. It's crazy. And they gave us like a couple of $1,000s last year. So Jen and I drove to the north, where I used to work, the North County, and they gave us a check for almost $9,000, $8,900. So we haven't even started the fundraiser, we're already at $8,000. So I think this is going to be, hey, superstar, what's happening? Come in here. Tell your dad to wait. He can wait. Lily's,
She's just dropping off the stuff. Real quick.
Lily's here. JR's taking Lily home. I want to check in on third grade. Hey, so how's third grade?
Good.
Yeah? What classes do you have?
Miss Lamas.
They can't
Miss
hear you. You have to
Lamas?
pull it closer.
Oh, they can't hear you. They can't hear you. Come over and talk to me. So who's your homeroom teacher?
Huh?
Who's your homeroom teacher?
We don't have a homeroom teacher. We just have one teacher.
Well, see, I'm sorry. I'm an old man. Back when I was your age, they called that the homeroom. And that was your homeroom teacher.
I
Yeah.
have Miss Lamas as my teacher.
Is she a good teacher?
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah. So you're loving third grade?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, have a good school year. Good to see you, superstar. All right. See you later. Our superstar, Lily Flores. Third grade, or oh, and you were on TV. Forgot to tell her. Got to see the uniform. Telling you, smartest thing Mr. Flores ever listen. I used to tell him, don't listen to me. Do as I say, not as I do. Smartest thing he ever did was dedicate himself to educate his child through private education. Telling you, It's the only way to go, folks. Only way to go. What else you got on the board?
President Modi is not at all pleased that Trump has been bragging about reaching a peace deal in India's war with Pakistan, despite there being no actual peace between the two, not to mention Trump's senseless tariff war. That is why the relationship with India and other countries is so strained.
Well, you're a little bit ignorant, I'm sorry to say, because it's not senseless tariffs, because it's one of the things that is bringing Putin to the table. The fact that he's putting tariffs on the oil that many of these countries are getting and taking away money out of Vladimir Putin's pocket. So that, A, is incorrect. B, you're also incorrect to put this on Trump, because as Howard Marcus historically and accurately pointed out, we've had trouble with India for decades. For decades. We assumed, as the world's largest democracy, that they would hook up and be aligned with the world's greatest democracy. But that hasn't been the case, really. I don't know if I can say in my lifetime, because I don't know the history of India when I was a child in the 60s and the 70s, but right around the 80s, right around with Carter, our relationship with India has always been C plus at best. And yes, the tariffs pissed them off a little bit. The India-Pakistan war, we had to walk very, very lightly on that, and because they're both, India and Pakistan, by the way, hope you know this, have nuclear weapons. They can blow this whole thing up. And that's why I truly believe, maybe not in my lifetime, maybe not in your lifetime, maybe not in your grandchildren's lifetime, but at some point we're going to blow this rock up. The proliferation of nuclear weapons is only going to get worse. And at some point it's going to get into the hands of one of these religious fanatics. And they welcome death. They think death is an honor. And I think the only thing that may save this planet are people's children. You can be a religious freak and not give a damn about your own life, but if you've got kids, you're like, damn, I'm cheating my own child to blow this thing up. Do I really want to do that? That's the only deep, dark hope I have in my head for world peace. Not that that's ever going to happen, but at least some kind of détente between these countries. But I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean, but you couldn't have been more wrong in your text message. We headed to the final hour of the broadcast on this Wednesday. I know it's Wednesday because tomorrow's a Thursday, and the staff of American General Media will be at the Elks Lodge serving breakfast to our veterans. We'll be there at 7:45. And then tomorrow night, I will be at the warehouse at Luigi's Restaurant and Old World Delicatessen, honoring my good friend Jeff Salters. I'm going home tonight and work on my 3 to 4 minute speech. I'll tell you all about it on Friday. Quick timeout, last hour of the show. Don't go anywhere.
This is AM 1180 KERN. Green Acres.
Buzz,
This
buzz,
is
buzz,
96.1
buzz,
FM.
buzz, buzz,
Bakersfield.
buzz.
Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Two conservative news channels are going to face off in court.
Newsmax claims Fox has tried to maintain its
What do we
market
got?
dominance through intimidation and
Conservative.
exclusionary business practices to stifle competition. The network claims Fox tried to block it from
See, that's the key.
platforms
You gotta
like
get your first
Hulu
serve.
and Sling and
Gotta get
pressured
served first.
guests
She's
to
gonna
avoid
crush this.
appearing on Newsmax. Network attorney said the law is clear. Competition, not coercion,
You go
should
from
decide what
108
news channels Americans
to
can watch. Fox says Newsmax is trying to place
87.
blame for its competitive failures in the marketplace to chase headlines simply because they can't attract viewers. I'm Ed Donahue.
The U.S. military killed 11 alleged Tren de Aragua gang members aboard a suspected drug boat originating
I was
from
a
Venezuela
slider.
and the Southern
I had a
Caribbean on
great
September 2nd.
Slice,
Secretary of
sir.
State Marco
And then
Rubio
when I was
says the
going to your
U.S. acted
backhand, I'd
against
go
the
for
drug
the
boat
tee.
instead of
And I
simply
didn't have to hit
stopping
it
it to
that
seize
hard.
the drugs.
Instead of interdicting it
I was a pretty good tennis
on the
player. I
president's
played a lot of
orders,
tennis when I was a kid.
blew it up.
I used to play with
And it'll happen
Todd
again.
Carley.
Maybe it's
All
happening
the
right now.
time.
I don't know. But the point is, the President of the United States is going to wage war on narco-terrorist organizations This one was operating in international waters, headed towards the United States to flood our country with poison. And under President Trump, those days are over.
President Trump secretly authorized military force against drug cartels in early August. Florida plans to become the first state to eliminate vaccine mandates that have been a cornerstone of public health policy for decades. State Surgeon General Dr. Joseph Ladapo describes current vaccine requirements as an immoral intrusion on rights. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 24 points, the Nasdaq rose 218. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-822-1716. 800-822-1716. 800-822-1716.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. There was a tense atmosphere at a meeting of the Cal City Commission as advocates voiced opposition to the operation of a new ICE detention facility. The meeting included a vote on a business license for the Core Civic Immigration Detention Center, and that came after a news conference when community members expressed their opinions. Dolores Huerta said that Alligator Alcatraz was closed in Florida because of community and environmental groups opposing it. Several speakers shared their experiences with immigration enforcement. Many believe the facility is operating without due process. Over 1,200 people were arrested for DUI over the Labor Day weekend, which coincidentally was CHP's holiday enforcement period from August 29th through September 1st. During the enforcement period compared to last year, fatal crashes dropped by 49% from 39 to 20. Total fatalities went down by 50% from 43 to 21. In addition to 1,214 DUI arrests, officers issued 19,798 speeding tickets. 24 people were arrested by the Kern County Sheriff's Office on Friday. Deputies also removed 5,000 pounds of debris during a loitering bust. Deputies were active in areas where residents and business owners had been complaining. North Chester Avenue, Airport Drive, Merle Haggard Drive, Brundage Lane, and Kern Canyon Road. 4 of the 24 were arrested on felony charges.
I said the same thing. I
Tonight's
thought that was a
Powerball
horribly
jackpot
called
is up from
game.
1.1
He ran him once. And when he ran a quarterback sweep with him, they picked up 8 yards.
The largest
He picked up 8
Powerball
yards.
this year and the 5th largest in lottery
See,
history.
go to that.
Won the big prize, but 14 players won at least $1 million by matching all 5.
And I thought that was one of his upsides. He was
Robbins in the
incredibly mobile.
KERN newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180
Come on, you got to
KERN.
break her for the set.
What do you think, this is the army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get a post like this. Little thing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You
Pass
understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the broadcast on this Wednesday. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, where we're streaming live at KERNradio.com. Did I show the shirt to the whole audience or just the
Oh, you showed the back of the shirt.
To everybody? Oh, well, everybody is the YouTubers.
I mean, you could show it again for people who have just joined us.
That's funny that I thought I could show it to those listening. Yeah, I'm wearing my Tommy Bahama shirt. One of my 2. See that? Really cool shirt. Really, really nice shirt. And I have like 3 or 4 of them from, as I mentioned earlier, from a former friend. And I'm not wearing my Robinson jersey Friday. I'm going to wear another Dodger shirt I got. I threw a bunch of stuff in the cleaners. Oh, you want to hear a great story? I did it again.
Did you really?
I did it again. Yesterday, I told you the story about how I almost missed Robbie's wedding because I procrastinated and I put my tuxedo in at 10:30, thinking at Today Cleaners, which I love. I'm not criticizing. I love Today Cleaners. Kelly, I think, is still involved. Kelly Downtown Brown, I think, is still the manager there. But nevertheless, in by 11, ready at 4. So I show up at 10:30, think I'm getting my clothes out at 4. And the kid says, this will be ready Tuesday. And I go, no. He goes, no, I'm sorry, we're closed on Monday. I said, I know that, but I'm here at 10:30, ready at 11, ready by 4. And he points to the window and he says, sir, we changed that in January. It's ready at 10, ready by 4. So I had to beg the manager, did she break her? I don't think so. She didn't look like she just won the set. I think it's 5-5 with Naomi Osaka. I digress. They changed it in January. It's now in by 10, ready at 4. Fine. I begged the manager. I said, can you just do the shirt and the pants? I can dust off the jacket. That's not a big deal. In fact, I don't even think I submitted the jacket. No, I didn't. The jacket was fine. So I said, can you just do the shirt? Because I threw in a bunch of other stuff, some of which I'm wearing. And I said, just do the pants and the shirt, please. If not, I literally can't go to a wedding. I have nothing to wear because I'm not going in jeans and a flannel shirt and a ball cap and dirty boots like some did. Mainly because the invitation said formal, but that's just me, I guess. Anyway, so I told Chris last night I got to go on my way home and pick up the rest of my dry cleaning because they stay open until 7.
Correct.
Well, they used to.
Oh, Lord. But they close at 6 now?
They close at 6 now.
Is that why they shifted it?
And they still have painting on the front that says 7 to 7. Now, on the main window, it says 7 to 6. But there's, like by the door, it says 7 to 7. And so I spent $21 to get home. I was complaining to Chris. I said, do you see this? If I just said here to 1313 Mockingbird Lane, my address, it's $8. But because I'm going around the corner from my house, literally, I've walked there. I just don't walk back because I'm carrying a bunch of clothes, but it's walking distance right across the street from the fire department on, what is that, H
Street, yeah.
Where the Rite Aid used to be. Can you believe we don't have Rite Aid in this county, or at least in Bakersfield? No, it's in the county because Shafter, the guy told me, thank God we have a new pharmacy because that Rite Aid was our pharmacy and they're gone.
Now, please God, don't lose CVS.
Yeah, no kidding. But what was I talking about?
You're talking about your trip to the cleaners?
Yeah, that's the point, that they were closed. Oh, the amount of the Uber. So yeah, it's $8 for me to go home straight. But if I add just going a couple of blocks, it was $21. So I spent an extra $10 to get home last night, only to be told, come back tomorrow. I was like, God, dog. And I cleaned that up. 842-5376, 842-KERN. I don't know why I do this. It's almost like I have a compulsion to put the bad news last. And my news experience should tell me you lead with what bleeds, and then you kind of end the show on a happy note. If you ever watch a news, doesn't matter where it is in the country, but the final 5 or 10 minutes is all BS. The final, it's called a kicker, will be either about children, food, or animals. Watch the 5 o'clock news tonight in about half an hour, or at the end of the 6 o'clock news. It's called the kicker, and it'll either be about children, food, or animals. I have this weird deal where I always put the bad stuff last. But it's a crazy story where a boy was shot to death. Did you ever do ding dong ditch when you were a kid?
Yep.
Did you ever advance it?
In what way?
Where you
leave stuff at the door? And
yeah,
run
you
away?
put a bunch of dog crap in a
No,
bag.
we never did that. I'd heard about that, but we never did that.
We did that, and it was a huge neighborhood issue.
Really?
Where we just pissed off the wrong guy. Where you used to put, if you don't know, and I know most of you do, you put a bunch of dog crap in a bag, you put it on somebody's porch, you light it on fire, and then you ring the doorbell and run. They come to the door, see they've got a little fire, and they stomp it out. Because you're not going to go get the fire extinguisher for a little paper bag that's on fire. You're going to, if you got shoes on, you're going to stomp it out, and they've got dog crap, and you sit across the street and laugh at the homeowner that's got dog crap. And
flaming.
well, one dude, Mr. Jackson, Mr. Jackson, Ginger Jackson's, the neighborhood ho's dad, he was black, his wife was Native American. So Ginger had this unbelievable body. She was ugly as a bear. I think that's why she was the neighborhood hoe. And I was so naive. Her parents went out of town, or she was not, no, my parents went out of town, and she got kicked out of the house, and she wanted to spend the night at my house, and I let her, and I slept on the floor. Knowing she's a neighborhood hoe, I was just like, because you know what I was afraid of? That I would try something, and she would know I was a virgin, and she'd tell all the fellas, because by that time, oh yeah, I've had sex. I'm 15, of course I've had sex. Sophomore year in college. And that's why I never tried anything with Ginger. I slept on the floor of my own bedroom. Anyway, so her father was this big ex-football player, Mr. Jackson. Why did we mess with Mr. Jackson?
That's a good question.
That man literally went house, because he knew all the kids. Because like the Townsend's kids were older, but they were actually in on it. And the Davis kids were too young, my next door neighbors. They were like 8 and 9.
Yeah, I don't know.
And across the street didn't have any kids. Next to the left of our house didn't have any kids. So he literally went to every kid in the neighborhood's house. He went to Tony's house, who was in on it. He went to Brian Williams's house, who was in on it. He went to the Townsend's house, who's only one boy. Kyle was in on it. Kim was too old. It was like, I'm not messing with you guys. And he damn sure came knocking on the Bailey house. And my father just naturally said, it's not my boy. My boy doesn't do things like that. And he was like, aren't you going to ask him? And that pissed off my father. And he said, didn't I tell you that my boy would not do something like that? And again, it's just like Harriet with Dr. Tsoulis. As soon as my father shut the door, little Ralph, get in here. And I knew. And I'm sorry. I looked him dead in the mug. Nope, that wasn't us, Dad. That's what we were wondering. We think it's some kids from out of the neighborhood. And my dad left it alone. And we got away with it. And that was the end of our neighborhood pranks, at least with Mr. Jackson. But that I was thinking about it the older I got. I was thinking, that's exactly what I would have done as a parent. I'd have been like, no, these little nitwits ain't getting away with this. Ruin my damn shoes. Yeah. Set a fire on my porch. Dude, he could have pressed charges against us. And that's how my dad approached me. He was like, this is serious, Ralph. Somebody set fire to his home. And I almost gave us up. Because that's how my dad described it. Somebody set fire to his home. And I almost was like, no, he didn't. It was a little bag of dog poop, Dad. Because Mr. Jackson described it as, we set his house on fire. And I was like, I almost gave it up. I was like, he didn't set it. It was a little tiny it was a lunch bag. You put dog crap in a lunch bag. And I was like, well, I don't know. They set his house on fire? Really? What part of the house? Wow, that's pretty serious, Bob. And he's all right, walked out.
2 side questions to this real quick.
Yes.
Who put the stuff in the bag?
That's a great question. That is a great question. I stole 4 pairs of surgical gloves from my pop, and we all had to do it.
All had to do it.
We all had to do it. That was the thing. Not like one guy, and that was the point. If we go down, we all go down.
True.
And so we all went to Gary Rainwater's house, who was not in on it, by the way. Gary was a year older than me. He was like, "You fella, no, I'm not doing it." I said, "But Gary, we know, because Gary, their house was a little nasty, and they wouldn't clean up their dog crap, so we knew exactly where to go. So we went in his backyard, and we accumulated the dog crap, took off our surgical gloves, waited till it got dark, and what's his name had one of those really cool lighters.
Zippos?
Zippo, yeah. And we set that thing on fire and ran to the Townsend's house and sat in the bushes. They were at the Williams' house across the street. 2 of us here, 2 of us there, and just watched as Mr. Jackson came out.
We never did that. We were a little worse, in my opinion, because we would TP people's houses. But if we really didn't like you, it would get much worse than just toilet paper.
You know, I never did that.
It was, I don't know. It was more our generation, I feel. But like, if we really didn't like you, forks went in the lawn, like plastic forks. You would saran wrap people's cars.
See, I always thought that the dog crap thing was like an innocent deal.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right, you got to wipe off your shoes.
Ding dong ditching is an innocent deal.
And ding dong ditch is a bit innocent deal. I'm going to get to the really serious story after the break. But to TP somebody's house, you know how long it takes to clean that crap up?
Yes, because I had to do it once. Because my friend,
your house got TP'd? And how long does it take to clean that? I mean, you got to go put on the roof.
See, they did it worse to me because they put marshmallow on our lawn, and when the sprinklers went off, it melted the marshmallow onto the lawn.
See, y'all just evil.
Trust me. Don't get me wrong. I got back at who did it to me, and it was a great job on all accounts. But I won't explain.
Have you ever TP'd a house?
Oh yeah, 100%.
How many rolls does it take to TP a house? And where do you get all this damn toilet paper?
Any kind of Costco or whatever.
Oh, so y'all actually go out and buy toilet paper?
Yeah, you would go out buy like one of
How
the
many
big
rolls?
old things of 48 whatever things of toilet paper,
and just throw it all over the people's homes.
And you would always get side eyes, obviously, from the people working there, being like, "Oh, what are you guys gonna do with this?" Like, yeah, you know exactly what's going down, but we're not egging nobody's house. We're not doing anything dangerous, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
it's a harmless prank.
Well, that's why the Mr. Jackson thing taught me a lesson. That's why I've never been a big prank guy, never been a practical joker. And I really did realize that's not funny.
Yeah, when you get
after
older,
my dad was
really
like,
dumb.
yeah, after the experience, I realized I'm not doing that anymore. And another thing we used to do that I never got involved in, and I never understood why they did this, our little crew, but they would go and steal Christmas lights off people's homes and like throw them in the street. And I was like, "That's now you're edging into criminality." You know what I'm saying? This isn't just stupid teenage fun. You're getting into criminality now.
I just sold myself out. My mom was listening and said, "Oh my God, what a killer conversation for the way home. I'm so happy you didn't light poop on fire."
Oh, so your mother says, "I'm the bigger criminal, and you TP'd somebody's house?"
Hey, don't look at me. That's just what was
All
talking.
I did is leave a little dog crap on the porch. Chris
set it on fire.
Well, yeah, we lit it on fire. Chris destroyed somebody's house, Mrs. Burdick.
Well, destroyed? That's the stretch.
Well, I mean, good.
Pulling down toilet paper from somebody's roof ain't that bad.
It's worse than just wiping off your shoes, putting out a little fire.
More work.
Well, unfortunately, we have to pivot to something negative where a young ding-dong ditcher was fatally shot. I'll tell you the story when we come back. Bottom of the hour, we'll talk a little sports. Naomi Osaka is involved. She won the first set 6-4. She's down 1-love in the second set. Probably, up to this point in her career, maybe there'll be bigger ones. And she's a 4-time major champion.
57% on that first serve, though.
Yeah, that's horrible.
That's rough.
That is horrible. And yet she's won one set and she's only down 1-0. Oh, but she got broke. You're right. She broke her. This is one of the biggest tournaments, and this is one of the biggest matches of her career because this is the beginning of her true comeback, at least we hope. And Taylor Townsend advances to the finals, the African-American girl who's called uneducated and classless by Ostapenko. She's playing doubles now. She got eliminated by, I think, Coco Gauff in the singles. but beat Venus Williams, and now has advanced to the not in the quarters, but in the quarters. Now she won the semis, and she's going to the final. She'll be playing this weekend. Quick break. We're coming right back. I'll tell you the story from Texas when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Thursday edition, Clay and Buck will break down the absolute latest on everything surrounding the battle over Trump and Chicago and whether troops should be sent in. Also, the first day of the NFL season. We'll see if Buck has any idea that's going on. We'll break all that down and more for you. Come hang with us. Make sure you don't miss it. It'll be the Thursday edition of Clay and Buck.
Live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1 and
any
AM
better?
1180 KERN.
King Door Company continues to set the standard in the garage door industry, and I'm here to tell you a few of the reasons why. First off, King Door carries Clopay garage panels and LiftMaster openers, so you're guaranteed quality and reliability well beyond the reach of most garage door companies, and it just gets better from there. King Door has a fleet of fully stocked service trucks with all the parts and tools to handle any job quickly and efficiently, and those trucks are manned by the most knowledgeable technicians anywhere. They have all the technical expertise imaginable and the most up-to-the-minute training available. In fact, King Door is so committed to training that they have the King Door Academy, a full-size, state-of-the-art classroom right on the premises with all the latest teaching aids, including working garage doors to simulate any installation, repair, or technique.
15:30.
No, games.
It's still 1-0.
1-1.
He's still down the 1.
Come out online at kingdoor.com. King Door Company, your company with the pride of a lion.
Reporting live again from the Santa Margarita Ranch. We're receiving reports that this Christmas, you're invited to climb aboard the enchanting Pacific Coast Railroad's Jingle Bell Express for a one-of-a-kind journey from the Central Coast to Santa's Village. Everyone, including this astute reporter, knows that the only way for non-elves to get to the North Pole is on real trains, and theirs include original Disney train cars. It's also being reported that on your journey, you'll pass through wonderful wonders of Christmas lights and sights. Then when you arrive at Santa's Village, there will be a captivating Christmas-themed magic show.
That is not easy.
Christmas market, adorable.
I've always said that. I've never understood why singles tennis players don't volley more. It's like, dude, that's where I won the majority of my points.
Djokovic was doing that last night. He was serving and coming to the net.
Yeah. Approach it, especially when you're like what you were talking about when they can't get the first serve in. I'm volleying all day.
Yeah.
Going to Christmas at the Margarita.
Well, because these guys
before the Christmas
are just so freaking good, they can send it right down the freaking line.
Grown-ups, don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience.
Who the hell's that?
So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
I got no clue on that one. Maggie Rogers is a singer-songwriter and record producer, I guess. I don't know.
Never heard of her.
It's pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. If you're an adult, 19 to 49, with certain underlying medical conditions like asthma, diabetes, chronic heart disease, or COPD, vaccination is also recommended. Talk to your doctor about vaccination today and learn more at lung.org/protect yourself. Furnished by the American Lung Association in collaboration with Pfizer.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Eight 842-5376, 842-KR. I'm going to tell you the story out of Texas after the next break. I don't have a lot of time, and I don't want to have to rush through it. It's a horrendous story for both the shooter. I'll give you the Reader's Digest version, then we'll get into it after the break. But these two kids came and playing Ding Dong Ditch, the boy and his cousin, and the man came from around the house with a weapon and, as you can tell, shot the boy in the back, and he died. And now this man is facing murder charges. And like I said, I'll get into it a little more detailed, who he is, his background, and what exactly happened, because there's more to it right after the break. In the meantime, what do you got on the board?
The U.S. and Western Europe began a policy of Russian isolation after Putin launched an unprovoked war of aggression and conquest. You don't talk to Putin about peace because Putin is the only reason there is no peace in the region. You isolate him, arm the Ukrainians, and fight the good fight. Trump chose ahead to roll out the red carpet.
And sell weapons to NATO that they can use against the Ukrainians. And I think, based on the audio that we played today, that he said in the Oval Office, that it's about to get much more punitive on Putin. He was counting on this guy. He gave him a little rope, didn't completely buy in, because I totally don't buy anything that comes out of his pie hole. But I think Trump now knows, I'm not going to trust this guy. He wants this war. He wants Ukraine. And whatever else, perhaps Poland. Could we be facing a world crisis when he finally goes after a NATO country? And I believe that he will. Perhaps he stops with Ukraine when he sees how difficult it is. And again, maybe that's sinking into him. I've killed 1 million men to gain 20% of the property. At least I've got thousands of Ukrainian, well, in his viewpoint, Russian children, and brought them back to their home. He could easily call this a win. He could easily go back to the Russian people, which obviously, whatever he says, they're going to be like, yes, yes. But he could easily call this a win. I brought back Crimea under Barack Obama, and now under Uncle Fluffy and Donald Trump, I got 20% of Ukraine back. And then he could call it a victory and appeal to the hearts and minds of the Russians. We have suffered a long war. We've lost 1 million people. We will no longer suffer anymore. We will take our 20% and run like thieves and call it a victory. And of course, he'll be heralded and hailed and feted. But I think he wants the whole enchilada. How he logically can conclude that he could pull this off is anybody's guess. But he's a madman who thinks he's going to live forever. Again, did you hear the off-mic comment between he and Xi? You can transplant your organs forever. And they literally talked about immortality. These two psychos believe that they are Julius Caesar and that they're going to live and rule the world for all eternity. They really do. Go listen, go put in Xi Putin off mic comment or just hot mic and listen to these two guys talking about living forever. Last half hour of the broadcast. It doesn't last forever. We're here till 6. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith
So she
Peters
wanted
in
served. That's
Washington.
okay.
A federal judge in Boston has ordered
Just
the
as long as she
reversal
doesn't
of
get
over
broken,
$2.6 billion
she can
in
win it on
federal
a
funding
tiebreaker.
cuts to Harvard University. The ruling issued Wednesday marks a significant victory for Harvard in its legal battle with the Trump administration.
That's a trip.
Judge
8:30 in New
Allison
York.
Burroughs found the cuts were illegal retaliation for
Oh,
Harvard's
that's what I wanted to
refusal
talk
to
about.
comply with
See
White
where they
House
put that
demands
75
on
years
news,
of
governance,
breaking
and policy.
barriers. They also
Newsmax
put
has
up
filed an antitrust lawsuit against Fox
I know
News.
that looks so out.
It said Fox has sought
That's what
to
I'm saying. It's
maintain
so
its
good
market
that they have
dominance
this-
through intimidation
Nice!
and exclusionary
Now,
business practices
Ooh.
designed to stifle competition.
That was a great
The
shot. by the other
lawsuit
girl.
says Fox has sought to block television distributors from carrying Newsmax or minimize its exposure. More details at srnnews.com.
Did you know that tennis is the healthiest sport in the
96.1
world?
and AM 1180
Is that the life?
KERN.
What do you think the life expectancy for recreational tennis players is versus non-recreational tennis players? How much longer they live than people that don't play tennis?
I'm Bill Robbins. There was a tense atmosphere at a meeting of the Cal City Commission as advocates voiced opposition to the operation of a new ICE detention facility. The meeting included a vote on a business license for the Core Civic Immigration Detention Center.
Almost
That
80.
came after a news conference when community members expressed their opinions. Dolores Huerta said that Alligator Alcatraz was closed in Florida because community and environmental groups opposed it. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is up from $1.1 billion to $1.3 billion. That's billion with a B dollars, making it the largest Powerball drawing for this year and the 5th largest in lottery history.
Come on, girl.
Big prize, but 14 players won at least $1 million by matching all 5 of the numbers.
Running and jumping.
Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
On the Thursday Armstrong and Getty Show, military experts weighing in on China's hardware that they had in that big parade. Plus, prominent lefty author finally admits, yeah, dudes playing women's sports is crazy.
And it looks like the state of Florida will be the first to eliminate mandates for vaccinations for kids to go to school. Is that a good thing or not?
Or was it?
Talk about that next. Armstrong and Getty Show.
Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to The Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
How I wish I had someone to talk to. I'm in an awful way. Another Saturday night, and I ain't got nobody. All right, so 11-year-old boy Julian Guzman and his cousin played Ding Dong Ditch, although they don't know how to play because apparently they knocked on the door 3 times. And the homeowner, who is, please stand by, Gonzalo Leon Jr., 42 years old, went around the house to see what was going on with his gun, and he fired twice. He fired once into the ground. The boys obviously scattered, and this is why he's going to jail. He chased the boys down to the corner and shot the 11-year-old in the back near a stop sign away from his home. Now, we can ask Teresa Golden on Tuesday, but he might, very slim, maybe with a really good attorney, could have claimed self-defense if it happened on his property. I didn't know they were 11. And it was late at night, which is another question. Why is an 11-year-old? I think it was like either, I can't, you guys got to look up your own stuff when I do a bad job of producing my own damn show. But it was either 11 or 1 in the morning, 1 to 2. And I'm thinking it was like 1 in the morning. And I was just wondering, even if it's 11 o'clock, even hell for an 11-year-old, even if it's 9:30, what's an 11-year-old doing out at 9:30 or at 11 o'clock? I knew, streetlights, baby. I've told you this 1,000 times. If the streetlights came on and my behind was not in the house, there was a woman standing in the lawn by the name of Harriet Dolly Bailey. Didn't matter whether she had curlers in her hair. Didn't matter whether she had a robe on. Didn't matter whether she was buck naked. She was in the front yard screaming my entire name. Ralph Emerson Bailey Jr., get your behind in this house. And I was always like, you see me riding the bike down the block. Why must you go ghetto and scream 4 houses down? I'm 4 houses from the house, Mom. Do you not? Where do you think I'm going? You think I'm gonna keep on driving? Just take a spin around the block? And I know why she did it. It was total psychological. Even then, I realized, because I, as a child, detested my middle name. I actually hated my whole name. Because, of course, I got the Ralphs and the throw up and the thing. And then when they found out it was Emerson, they were, I was pasted. So my mother knew what button to push with the Ralph Emerson Bailey Jr. Get your mind in here. But this guy was 42 years old, and here, the shooter, here's what's sad. He served in the Army. He's a vet, and he also served in the National Guard. And he had a bond hearing today. The judge set his bond at $1 million, plus while he's waiting for trial, he's on home confinement with an electronic monitor, which I think is a nice way to go. If you really want to adopt cashless bail, and not that I'm in favor of cashless bail, but I do think it's unfair that rich people, when they go to jail, can bond out and stay at home and wait for their trial, unless you're Sean Combs and they think you're a flight risk. But most rich folks who get arrested for whatever, sometimes even murder, they can come up with $1 million. Or really, if your bond is $1 million, it's only $100,000 for these rich folks. They can come up with that. And if you're middle class or lower, how the hell are you going to come up with $100,000? You know what I'm saying? And it just, and what if you're innocent? What if you sat your behind in jail for 3 months waiting for a trial, and you're, look, Karen Reed, the woman who supposedly ran over her boyfriend. She was totally framed. And now they're investigating those cops that killed that guy and set her up and totally framed her. But she had the money to get out of jail. Can you imagine if she had to sit in jail all this time? Fernando Jara still sitting in jail because his bail is so high. And I don't think Leticia Perez really wants to see him out of jail right now. I wonder, just to get off on a dirt road, do you think they provide him meds?
I would think you would have to.
Why? He's not a danger. He's in a cell. He's not a danger to anybody but himself.
Yeah, but I think prisoners actually get treated pretty well in that area, don't they?
Prisoners, but he's not a prisoner.
True.
He's in jail. I don't think jail at Lerdo. I don't think he's probably still downtown. He's not out on Lerdo Highway. He's still downtown, I would believe. But I digress. And then the guy panicked, apparently, and dragged him back to his house and tried to revive him. But at that time, the child had died. And can you imagine losing your 11-year-old son? And what would prompt this guy? Because I'm telling you, I bet he just blindly shot to try to scare the kids. Because why do you shoot into the ground? And then why would you just randomly shoot a gun like that in your neighborhood? It just doesn't make sense. And as the DA in Texas, I forget what county it is, but he said no child should die over a silly prank. And he's absolutely right. And this guy is going to go away. It's sad to see a veteran who served his country and then even served in the National Guard. And he's going to go away. He's 42. He may not get life, because in the manner in which it wasn't premeditated. It's probably be charged with murder too. But he's going to do 30 years. He'll be an old man when he comes out of jail. His whole midlife is gone. Do 20, 25 years at minimum. It's just a really, really sad story. It really, really is. Meantime, earlier this morning, Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner, who makes $63.9 million every year, was on the Today Show and talked about, flirted with, and basically was completely disingenuous about moving to an 18-game schedule.
Listen, we always say, what do the fans want? What do the fans,
really think is important. And I think it's clear they want more regular season games versus preseason games. And it's something that we'll work through with the Players Association. We continue to make our game safer, and I think that's at the core of making that kind of a decision. Can we do it safely for our players? But it also, I think, represents an opportunity for us to continue to bring higher quality NFL content ultimately, and a regular season game is clearly better.
He is a bright man. So he has to know that the more games these guys play, the more susceptible they are to injury. Because remember, when we were kids, it was a 14-game season. When O.J. Simpson became the first man to run for 2,000 yards, he did it in 14 games. And then it went to 16 games. Then it went to 17 games. And now they're going to 18 games. And I'm telling you, what is going to happen, in my opinion, I can't see in the future, and I don't have a crystal ball, but I get paid every 2 weeks like clockwork to speculate. And I speculate that the Drew Breeses, the Tom Bradys, the guys that play for 20 years, no more. Playing 18 games a season, you're putting these guys' safety in jeopardy, and he knows it. They don't give a damn. Have you ever seen Rollerball with James? No, the James Caan.
Oh,
the
no,
original. Not with who's in that? Don't tell me. Famous rapper is in that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think.
Not 50 Cent. Going back to Cali. I don't think so. And I can't think. Who is that? LL Cool J.
Yeah,
LL Cool J. LL Cool J is in it. That's the remake. The original was in the early 70s with James Caan. And it's kind of a roller derby, but you can kill people and you have a ball and you got to throw it in this thing. And James Caan is the Michael Jordan of this sport and wants to retire, but corporate America runs this and they don't want him to retire. And then they want him to retire because they want to kill him. And it's a long story. But that's essentially what this is. They didn't give a damn about those guys' health in that fictional movie any more than Roger Goodell gives a damn about the health of any player in the NFL. I'm sorry, I just don't believe it. There's no way you could add games based on what we know, what happens when two helmets collide, and you're adding games and saying that you can do it safely. That's insane. I do like a couple of the rule changes. I like the fact that they're going to what they're calling, please stand by. I can't find it. I wrote it somewhere. They've got a title for it, but they've changed the kickoff. The dynamic kickoff or the something. I thought I wrote it down, but I don't know where I put it on my rundown. But they've changed the kickoff.
Dynamic kickoff. Yeah.
Dynamic kickoff. And they've changed it so that they're de-incentivizing just kicking it in the first row, because they're now going to start on the 35, which is pretty damn good. If your kick returner brings it back to the 35, he's met with high fives at the sidelines and slapping on the helmet. It's a pretty good return. So you got pretty good field position to start with. So you're going to see less kicks in the end zone, less kicks to just end it. And in a small way, they're returning the kickoff play. And the whole reason they got rid of it is because, and it makes sense when you think about it, you got 270, 280-pound men with a running start, running at a guy that's probably 180, 190 pounds running this thing back, or just making, I just couldn't believe what linemen go through. I remember playing football and just thinking, God, I'm glad I'm not a lineman, because they used to have what was called wedge blockers, where they had four guys that would set up a wedge elbow to elbow. And then defensively, you had guys that were assigned to be the wedge busters.
God.
And your job as a wedge buster was just to sprint down the field. It's your only job. They were the only guys on the field that ever didn't really have any tackling responsibilities, because their job was to bust that wedge.
Sacrifice your body.
Sacrifice your body, put your face down, and go helmet to helmet with these guys and bust open the damn wedge. And in some countries, that's called brain damage. So it is disingenuous for anybody involved with the National Football League to claim that we can add more games, not just to seasons, but to guys' careers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm too stupid to do the math, but 14 times 10 is 140. Now you get up to 18 over a 10-year period, and the guys are playing almost 200 games a career? No, you won't see guys with 10, 15-year careers. Guys, we've already seen it. We've seen guys getting out at 30. Who was the killer linebacker for the 49ers that got out at like 30?
Oh God, the white kid.
The white kid, exactly.
I can't remember his name.
He was a star. He was a star. And he was like, you know what? Let me think about this. I've got several million in the bank, and I've already had 2 concussions. I'm out.
Chris Boland.
I'm out at 30. You're going to see more of that, particularly once they go to 18 games, which is just crazy. And what do you think, Chris? We're both NFL freaks. I don't need to see one more game. I don't need to see 4 preseason games now. I like that. The starters don't even really play in the first 2. Yeah. So you could cut it down to, well, you can't cut it down to 2 because you still got to give guys, the rookies, a chance to put stuff on tape. But you could get it down from 4 to 3.
His plan is to get rid of it altogether.
No, you can never do that. You can never do that. How does a rookie put something on tape?
That's what I said too.
How do free agents get a job? You got to have, that's the phrase in the NFL, put it on tape. And that's what they say. By the way, I've not seen the last 2 Hard Knocks. I got to watch that because I missed last week, so I didn't watch this week's.
Right.
But I did watch Love and Hip Hop Atlanta last night. Dude, I don't know, and I hate to say this because your mother's listening, but I don't know if I was just high as a kite because I was high as a kite, but it was one of the best love and hip hops ever. And it was so well done. There's this one girl who is, I think, the hottest one on the show. And they went to meet these other girls. And she said, and this is the battle of 6 girls. And she held up this boxing card. Round 1, me versus Carly. And then they cut back to the restaurant, and she and Carly go at it. All right? And then she goes back, and she goes, and then 2 other girls say something together, and she goes, round 2, Carly versus Denise. And then they go at it. And the only reason Randy won't watch it because he says it's scripted and it's phony. And last night, because I'm normally able to suspend my
disbelief. Yeah.
Disbelief, exactly. But last night, you know how I always talk about the worst part of the show is that these girls are millionaires and they go to restaurants, and I don't know how these restaurants let them in. I guess locally you get a lot of love.
A lot of exposure.
Known, that the girls of Love and Hip Hop were here at my restaurant. But they're screaming and yelling at each other in a restaurant. And in the background, you see this. Now, I know I did an eating motion for those of you who are listening. I keep forgetting we're not doing television. And I know I'm the nosiest guy in the world. But come on. 6 beautiful black girls are going at it, and you're cutting your steak? No, you're not. You are rubbernecking like a damn crash on the 99.
Phones are out.
Exactly. Like, what the hell is going on with these sisters? And they hot as hell, too. Where's my phone? Let me get this and post this on Instagram. And everybody around them in the background are all just like mind their own business. And these girls are like, well, you're the only reason you on this because you had a baby with Curtin. And that's the only reason you on the show. Which is true of this girl who is hot. She's one of the strippers on the show. She's an ex-stripper who met Kurt, who's married to Rashida, and had a baby. And for about a year, he was able to keep it on the down low. She didn't even know. He had a 1-year-old that he was supporting, and his wife didn't know about it. And then the team bust, and I'm telling you, it's a great show. Great show. He's right. But see, how do you script that? How do you script a man cheating on his wife and having a baby out of wedlock?
Here's the thing. It's not necessarily that part is scripted. It's more that
they set it up,
written in reality.
Yes, and they set up the confrontations. Yes, aren't scripted, but they're set up. Yeah. Like when there are three girls, when there's six girls that hate each other, three each, and they both all, and they meet at a restaurant. That's set up. Yeah. Now after that, they let it go because the girls are smart enough to know the more drama I get into, the more airtime I get into. And they end up, I told you, they once went to, they took them to London because there's always a trip during the season. They always say, let's go on a retreat, as if they really are planning it, not the production company. And they went to London. They went to London and got in a glass throwing fight in an English pub. Can you imagine what those British people are saying about black people? Millionaires they are. All of them. All of them. If not from rapping, because most of them are rappers. Some of them are former strippers. But the money they're making from the damn show alone. And they went across the Atlantic and threw glasses at one another in an English pub. Makes you want to hand in your black card. Good grief. Final break of the night. Tomorrow's a Thursday. Daniel Petrie, Mike Turnipseed. Thought I got shot. My bottle. I swear, I was like, oh, I've been hit. And whatever else. We'll find out. Does Naomi Osaka advance? It's currently 4-4. Is that right, Chris? Am I reading that right? And she is serving at 30 all. We might have a winner in the next 8 minutes before we get out of here. It's TRBS. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's the JR Show. Have you guys been down California Avenue lately between Real Road and Stockdale? My goodness, the construction is an absolute mess. You can't get in and out of businesses during certain times. It rotates. Nobody is notifying anybody about when roads are going to be open. The city has dropped the ball on this. Seriously, it took me 15 minutes just to get home from work. I live right across the street. I could have walked home faster. And the worst part is, it's going to last till the end of October.
The JR Show. Weekdays at 2 p.m.
Grown-ups, don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the VA benefits.
If you are 50 or older, it's recommended that you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. If you're an adult, 19 to 49, with certain underlying medical conditions like asthma, diabetes, chronic heart disease, or COPD, vaccination is also recommended.
That's next.
Talk to your doctor about vaccination today and learn more at lung.org/protect yourself. Furnished by the American Lung Association in collaboration with Pfizer.
Did you hear? The best performing assets of 2025 are
Is that
in
in?
stocks. They are precious metals. This year, gold and silver have risen a staggering 29%. And some experts
Look at how
believe the
close.
gold and silver
Look
bull
at how
market
close.
has just
And then they
begun.
throw it right in
Central
your
banks
face.
are buying gold to protect against the falling dollar.
And
And
she wanted to
silver,
see it too.
it's powering the future. With skyrocketing demand for solar, EVs, and
She's
AI,
done.
silver is
There's no
the
way
new
she
oil.
breaks her.
So how high could gold and
bad.
silver soar? Find out. Call Lear
Yeah.
Capital, the precious metals leader, at 800-957-GOLD.
So the
Get
best
your
you can
free
do is a
wealth
tiebreaker.
protection kit and see how gold and silver could help your retirement dreams come true. With over $3 billion in trusted transactions, thousands of five-star reviews, Lear is your trusted source. Call now, 800-957-GOLD. That's 800-957-GOLD. 800-957-4653.
I don't know what I'm going to say about Salty tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Rick Sorcy, certified kitchen and bath designer.
My
and
opening
owner
joke
of Stock
is
Duck Kitchen
I'm a
and
little
Bath. When it
confused
comes to
as to why
remodeling
I'm
your
here
kitchen
because
or bathroom, you
I don't
deserve
know
a
Jeff
process
Salters.
that's personal, precise, and as
Is that funny? That's
stress-free
my
as
opening
possible.
joke.
That's why I personally design every project with you using state-of-the-art three-dimensional
And then I'm
software,
going to say,
so you can
I'm
see
working on
exactly
something like
what your
this.
new space will
And of
look
course,
like,
I'm
even before
lying,
construction
which
begins.
is
No
ironic
guesswork, no
because
surprises,
Jeff
just
just
a
happens to be
clear
a little
vision brought to
sincere,
life.
honest
And I
man. I've
believe
never
in
met.
guiding you through
And
every
then I
step
just
of the
talk about
process. I
how we
shop
became
with
friends, which is
cabinets,
through Honest
countertops,
Life.
fixtures,
And
so you
I think
get
I'll
the
tell the
perfect
story where he
combination
got us
of
into the
style
hotels
and
that
function.
night
We work with
and
top
called the
quality
barbecue
American-made
joint and got
cabinet
us fed
brands
at the
like
airport
Waypoint,
and
Diamond,
then just walk off.
Medallion to ensure long-lasting beauty
Yeah.
and craftsmanship. If
He's
you're
got
ready to
three
turn your
of
vision
his
into
sons.
reality, let's design something
Jim
amazing together. Call Stock
reads
Duck
his
Kitchen and
Bible.
Bath at
Then Jim introduces me.
661-834-3333
And then his
or
three
visit
sons.
StockDuckKitchenandBath.com today. Stock Duck Kitchen and
And-
Bath. Beautiful cabinetry, smart design.
The Charlie Kirk Show, weekdays at 6 p.m. on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
Her opponent is serving for the set, so it looked like this thing is going to go 3. That's unfortunate. She had an opportunity. She was serving to go up 5-4. She got broke. Obviously, she's up 15-love. And Chris predicted it. Chris thinks she's going to break her again. 5-5. You could win 7-5, or you could win in a tiebreaker. But we're really pulling for Naomi Osaka. Anything left on the board before we get out of here?
Yeah, I got a couple here.
What do you got?
Ralph, Fernando is in Lerdo. They do not actually keep anybody downtown anymore.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that. All right, so he technically is in prison.
And they also say he's getting better health care than you and I, who pay out of pocket quite a bit for good insurances.
Well, I knew that, but do they help you with, like if you have high blood pressure or diabetes? I knew that they get great health. That's why Manson died here. We brought him to one of our local hospitals from all the way from Corcoran. But do they help you with your mental health? Do they have psychiatrists who can prescribe mental pills or mental health stuff? I'm just not sure about that.
There's another one here. It says Fernando is not being forced to take his meds while in Lerdo. He is given a choice to take meds. Any mandatory treatment is hard to issue and goes through
That's
a
what I would
lengthy
think.
process.
Yeah. I bet he is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I bet he's been off his meds the whole time he's been in there.
Yeah, especially since he wanted to be off them to begin with. So.
And they're talking about letting him out, letting him getting a mental diversion program. And I just think that's a really bad idea. I want to thank Howard Margus. Tomorrow's a Thursday. Our money man, Daniel Petrie from Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors will be with us, along with our good friend, Michael Turnipseed. And we're going to play TRBS Jeopardy tomorrow and give away some Brunch Fest tickets. For Chris Burdick, I'm Ralph Bailey. See you tomorrow. We don't have to do this tonight, do we?
Oh, Sangera? No, but
No, adaptive.
I gotta get you to do those because they're due tomorrow.
Are they due tomorrow?
Yeah.
I sure would like to start. I'm such a procrastinator. I told myself I was going to do it, and I never even looked at this copy.
Well, it does say, it says due date is tomorrow.
Yeah, let's squeeze it in and just do it tomorrow.
Yeah, we can squeeze it up. Because I could also
Even if I have to do it.
They actually put up 6 because I think there's 3 that run during. Or I'm sorry, this one is going to be a rotator that runs during the show, and I think they're going to have the same ones run outside of the show, but with somebody else's voice.
Yeah, let me take them home and study them. I'll do my homework tonight or tomorrow morning. And even if we have to do it
on Friday.
No, I'll do this right now.
You want to do Sangera right now?
Yeah, this is easy. All right, here we go. You ready? Oh, brilliant. Good thing I didn't stop. I think Romeo's blowing me off. What time are you touching out at KC's?
She tied it at 5.
Huh? Oh, she did? She broke her? Sweet. And she's up 15 love. Come on, girly. That wasn't good? Damn, that looked good. Come on, girlie. Nice. She just hit that in the net?
I think it was out.
Oh, it was out. Damn. Got to get that first serve in. You absolutely got to get, even if you take a little off of it, you got to get that first serve in. God, she missed again. She breaks her. Now she's going to get broken. You ready? 3, 2, it's that man again. Ralph Bailey for Sangera Subaru. One of the best things I admire about Subaru, how they give back to our community. And the start of the school year is the perfect time to recognize our teachers and principals with Subaru's VIP Educator Program. Now, through October 31st at Sangera Subaru, teachers, principals, or assistants of pre-K through 12th grade are eligible to receive $500 off the purchase or lease of a brand new Subaru. That's right, $500 in savings plus utilizing Subaru's monthly sales incentives. So, if you're a teacher, principal, or assistant, call Sangera Subaru at 661-836-3737 or stop by and see my dear friends Damon Culbertson and Hassan Levy. The whole Subaru team is ready to help, but it's only good through October 31st. Sangera Subaru, paving the way for a better community. Boom! One take Bailey. Boom, boom, boom.
Don't throw that script away. I need a disclaimer on the bottom.
All right.
And then I just need your promos for tomorrow. Oh, I didn't even realize we're still doing the stream.
Oh, crap. Well, they get an additional couple of minutes of the show. I don't care.
40-30.
Sweet. And it's 5-5?
Yeah.
Come on, girl. One serve. Just one serve.
Missed through.
She missed the first one?
No, she missed through the ball.
Just right down the tee. Right down the tee. Right down the middle. And that's where she went. Oh, that was good.
Got her.
Damn. What did we do today?
You could probably do the meeting.
The meeting? Yeah.
Putin and Xi and all that.
Yeah. That's good. 3, 2. The evil of access. Did I really just turn that phrase around? The evil of access.
3, access powers, I guess.
3, 2. The axis of evil, Xi, Putin, and Ung, does not scare Donald Trump. He trolled them by writing, "Please give my warmest regards to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un as you conspire against the United States of America." And that's exactly what they're doing. But at least we're hip to that, and Western Europe better be as well. 3, 2. It's that man again. Look what's coming up on the Thursday TRBS. Well, it's a Thursday, Mike Turnipseed, Executive Director of Current Tax, will join us, along with our money man, Daniel Petrie from Messmaker Petrie Wealth Advisors. All that, me at 3. It's TRBS right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN. I'll see you at 3. Deuce?
Bailey Show, and Kathy Miller and her law firm were going to file on Tuesday with the Supreme Court their case against the gay couple. California reported it on Thursday. We had it exclusively on Monday, and we had Kathy and her attorney on Tuesday. Despite being a radio talk show host, I am still a journalist.
On News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Every day, keeps staving
That
her off.
fear of mind raging.
Just when it looks like she's about to get
Information
broke.
coming from every angle with the will to deceive. Fear not. You found the
crap, I
place
gotta
for
take my
truth.
crap down.
The voice of a generation.
I just no, I'm not gonna let Scott do it. He'll break my shit.
That's if he does it.
Yeah.
You don't do anything over here, so you don't care.
Oh, that's right. Let's put Mary Bethune down here. I kept calling her Mary Bethune Cookman. Oh, I didn't even introduce people to the new one.
Jack.
You know.